You all right, Jack?
Laughing
At
birds.
Yeah, I was aiming for the kid if that makes you feel better. You missed! I told you, don't fuck with me! That kid is gonna get you killed. You work that? Well, I got all day. How about you? You got all day? Jack, you still there?
Yeah, still here.
Well, this is awkward. When I started this day, I never figured on trading 9 mils with my friend.
I think we stopped being friends right around 8:25 in that bar.
No. No, that's not gonna erase 20 years together. We're still friends. Look, I want to take back, but I can't. Well, so you move forward. Next day, next case.
Lines were crossed.
What lines?
You hear me? Lines were crossed,
What
Frank.
lines? There are no lines. There's getting it done and not getting it done, period. You put the bad guys away, no matter what it takes. Now you're gonna ruin the lives of 6 cops. Good cops. Good men. Are you ready to sacrifice their lives for that kid?
Hey, Frank. Frank.
Yeah.
This is not about me ruining anybody's life. Okay? This is about you. You hear me?
Yeah. Look at that kid's jacket. I did. Armed robbery, assault.
I never had no armed robbery.
Beats all women over the head, steals their social security checks.
One time I used.
Shut up. Oh, no, don't tell me shut up. No, Jack, listen to him. No, that kid, he's sharp. Yeah, he's playing you. He's sharper than you are. He's telling you stories, right? He wants to be a good citizen. Go to church. Buy his mother a house. But he has spent more than half his life in prison. 2 hours ago, he was sitting in a cell for weapons possession. Yeah, he's always going to do what he has done. He is a career criminal. That's who you're protecting.
The following program is intended for mature audiences.
If you can't see how wrong this is, I promise you, I will speak from my heart when I give the eulogy at your funeral.
All right, man. Here we are, another week. UK&J Project is live, dude. If you're unfamiliar with what happens here, let me fill you in real quick. Myself, Jacob One Trade, BCHQ, reactor, motivational speaker from England. Usually we do movie reviews. However, due to some technical issues that are beyond the control of either of us, per usual, we're gonna have to be not doing that for a little while, but we still wanted to bring you a show, so we're just gonna do topics of discussion for a little while until we can figure out exactly what the plan is to move forward. But we will get to that. This week's topics are going to be snitches and supermarkets. And right before we get this started, I just received a comment on my YouTube channel when I was looking at the intro, and I would like to share it with you briefly, real quick. Person just said, I just started my channel, so as tips or tricks, when do you start picking up on YouTube? Do you ever do a shout out? So I'm going to tell this person that we're doing a live stream right now. Currently doing a live stream show. Will address this comment later today. Oh, spelled that wrong. All right. Right. And there we go. All right. Beautiful. Okay. So now we're going to get started. The question on everybody's mind is well, before we get started, is there anything you want to say, anything you want to add?
Just in terms of the show going forward for now, as Jack said, basically I was waiting for a power cable to come to test my laptop that had kind of died. Got the cable today, and the laptop's just completely had it. Like, it doesn't even, like, usually when you put the cable in, there's a light, even if it's like completely dead. As soon as you plug it in, it will light up to say that it's charging.
Yeah.
No such things going on. So like the battery's just completely gone. So
Damn.
just for everyone that watches this show, like, unless we can like watch stuff on Netflix or YouTube, it's going to be a pain. I could probably do a few, but like I said before, it's going to be a bit of a pain and difficult for me to watch films if we got to get them off of like independent sites or just finding links, because it was hard enough on the laptop with all the pop-ups and that you get from them sites, let alone on an iPad. And do you know what I mean? So
yeah,
we might still be able to do it a bit, but I just feel unless we can do it on Netflix or there's like free versions on YouTube of whatever it is we're going to watch, I don't know how we're going to go about that.
Well, we do. There are apparently there are public domain movies. They're all really fucking old, but
We'll be watching like country and westerns.
Yeah, like wild. But I have Hulu.
But again, I just didn't even want to message you today with that news, because I was like I think it's good in a way for me to not have my laptop, because I was on it a lot. Obviously, I've still got the iPad, but I think in terms of like just personally, it's probably a good thing. Like, I'm looking at it as a sign of just to get off the computer a bit more. But then I was thinking like, it's going to mess up the show stuff. I didn't even think of that originally. And do you know what I mean? So I was just like, I didn't even want to message you, but I can't like just put it off and not tell you.
Yeah.
So it's just a bit of a pain, because it's kind of put a bit of a stumbling block. But I still want to like go ahead and do stuff. It's just I don't know how much we're going to be able to do it like we used to.
Well, I mean, I do have Hulu, and I also have Amazon, so I could give you the passwords to those, and then you could watch movies like that. We could do that. I mean, we'd be limited to whatever's on the platform, but I mean, that's better than you having to go and try to search around on the internet. But then how are you you would have to be stuck watching them on the iPad?
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, I don't mind watching it on here. It's just more so the case of like with the pop-ups and finding links and that, because it's just on a smaller screen and that, so it's just a bit more. You have to fiddle about more with it. And
Yeah. Fuck. Oh yeah. Well, you know what, dude? We'll figure it out. I mean, I
plus,
got no.
you know, I was going through it earlier, and I'm like, I feel like I was born in like the 1920s or something, because I'm not used to doing like touchscreen and stuff, even with an iPad. Like, I use my iPad anyway, but I'm so used to having a keyboard,
Right.
and like just doing it with like a right click of like the mouse button and that, and now that's just up in the air. Like, so
much
earlier I was
easier.
doing it, and I was just in the process, and I caught myself. I was like, this is actually quite funny, because I'm like, I feel like I'm in a whole different generation, and I'm like, it's like I've got to learn to walk or something.
That drives me crazy, dude. I hate it's weird to not have the first cell phone I ever had. The first smartphone, I should say, actually was one that flipped out to the side that had a built-in keyboard to it. So it was once they made the full transition over to everything being completely touchscreen. It took me a long time to get used to there not being a keyboard there, man. It's wild. I hate it though.
And the thing as well with the whole laptop stuff, I had stuff on there that wasn't on my iPad that I now can't even get to. So it's just a pain in the ass. Like, I mean, it's not a great ton of stuff on there. Like, it could have been a lot worse, but just things that I'd taken time to like jot down and stuff, and just I can't now access it. So it's just a bit of a.
I worry about.
And also, I was trying to because when on the laptop, when we set up the UKNJ Project YouTube channel, I added the account to my other accounts, and for some reason I can't now do it on the iPad. It's not coming up, and it won't let me like add that account. It was on the laptop, but it won't let me do it on my phone or the iPad.
Weird. What the fuck?
So I can't, because I was going to put that video I did yesterday. I was just going to put that on our UKNJ Project channel. I was going to put it on like last night or something, but it won't let me do it. I can't add the account of the channel into my other channels for some reason. And I was also trying to like access my settings on the iPad and that, and on my phone, and I can't even get to screens that I could get to on my laptop.
Weird. What the fuck?
So it's just, I'm like, I'm not like, I thought I was going to be more pissed off, but I am pissed off. But I thought, remember the last time when I spilled my drink and that over it and had to go send it away and that, and I was nearly crying. So I thought it was going to be like that again. But I'm not, I think in a way it's good, but in other ways with stuff like this, it's just made it a lot more difficult.
Yeah, that sucks, dude. Fucking horrible. I mean, I worry every day. Like, I hope this fucking thing that I've used, it does. I mean, it's on its last leg for sure. I really hope nothing happens to it, because then the quality of everything would just go down tremendously. It'd be terrible. Oh, man. Well, I mean, I can always, if you're trying to upload some shit onto
That's what I was thinking earlier. I might have to like just send you a video that I've done in the email or something, just for you to put it on. I was thinking that earlier, but
yeah, and then I'll
all the time. It's just at the moment I can't do it myself. So
yeah, well, I mean, it's not like, you know, it's not like uploading it won't be a problem. You know what I mean? But it's only a couple of minutes it takes anyway. So I mean, if it helps even a little bit, just to make your life slightly easier, dude, I'm all about it.
So what? How are we starting this?
That's the question. Is where do we start? Well, I mean, I have personal experiences with being snitched on, but I think that's a pretty deep a part of the conversation. So I think with everything going on, probably the supermarkets are a good place to start, especially because that'll be one thing that highlights the differences for the both of us. You being in a completely different country, and wondering, do people carry on the same way, which I'm sure they probably do, but do they carry on the same way in England that they do over here in America? And it is, if there's one thing that will put me in a bad mood, it's knowing that I have to go to the store. And it's not, you know what? Like I'll when I get in the car to go, I'll be in a bad mood, and then I'll talk myself out of it till we get there. And then the second that I walk through the door, it's over because somebody will do something. A couple of my favorite things that people do is go through the main entrance and then let's stop right in the middle and block everybody and just look around like a deer in the headlights for a few minutes. That's a classic one. The one my new favorite is is people bumping into you and looking at you like you're an asshole. Like, how dare you not move out of my fucking way? I own this joint, in case you don't know. Shit like that.
I mean, I get it in just my local shop, which isn't even a supermarket. It's just like my local shop, and like especially with all the masks and that work like you have to wear and stuff at the moment. Everyone's paranoid anyway. You go in there and like someone behind you will want to get past you, but because they're fucking scared out of their head that they're gonna die, they'll look at you to be like, oh, can you like move on with your? Can you go to the next aisle so I can get up this aisle where we are, because I don't want to go past you because I might catch something. So I've found it at times where I've had to go do a complete circle, go into the next aisle, and go back around on myself because I haven't finished looking in that aisle because other people are too scared to walk past me because of the whole virus stuff. It's ridiculous.
This is my other favorite one too. Walking around the store like this. Then what's the point of wearing the fucking thing? Like, I can feel this, dude. What are you doing? How hard is it to go? There you go. There you go. All done. There you go. All done. It's ridiculous. Like, dude, I know the way people feel about the masks. I understand. They're uncomfortable to wear, and it's a pain in the ass. So you forget it. You got to go back and get the damn thing. But even if the fucking things don't work, it makes me feel a little bit comfortable that I can lie to myself and go, well, this has protected me a little bit. I'm sure it absolutely isn't at all. But just the fact that I can tell myself that lie helps me to go out of the house. But then you see people with it that can't even make the attempt to put the whole thing on their fucking face, man. And it just drives me, it drives me fucking crazy. But to your point, you know, people won't even pass you because they're so worried about it. Here, it seems like majority of people, it's like they forgot that there's a pandemic happening, because not only are they're directly on top of you, they're touching everything. The amount of times that I've seen people pick their nose or, you know, put their fingers in their face and then go and touch everything in the store, and I'm just thinking to myself, like, dude, the amount of germs that you're spreading, even without a pandemic, that's disgusting, right? Like, you don't, ugh. And then the other thing I wanted to bring up too was, I'm sure you remember a little while ago, the whole phenomenon of people licking ice cream and then putting it back. You seen any of those videos?
I've not seen that. No, I haven't, to be honest, but it doesn't surprise me.
Oh my God,
like they
dude!
Open like tubs and do it, or
yeah. This was a big one, and this was I want to say it was before the pandemic started. I could be wrong. I'm pretty sure though. What they were doing, there was one video specifically. One kid was holding the camera, and then there was a girl that opened the freezer and she grabbed an ice cream. She pulled it open, she licked the whole thing, put the cap back on, put it in the freezer, and fucking walked away. And this has gone on after it went viral. Other people were doing it in other places. It got bad for a few months. There were signs in the grocery stores talking about, you know, don't lick the ice creams. Now there were companies that make ice creams that had to, not that there shouldn't have been a film over it already, but some companies like Turkey Hill, for example, don't have that added layer over the top of it, so once you pull the cover off, the ice cream is right there, enabling people to do that. I don't understand where in your mind that's a good idea. I mean, there's also people that are going and licking toilets and fucking railings, and I don't. That's just some sick shit people are doing for attention. But again, I don't know where this came from. The other thing that drives me crazy, and I've talked about this on my podcast, is, and I'm not trying to make fun of fat people, but the idea of a person that's like 350 pounds driving around in a rascal scooter in the supermarket drives me nuts, dude. Like you already are so you're so big. You're so big that you need a scooter to drive around in, where somebody like me on a really bad day, I could actually use that scooter, but now I can't have it because your big ass couldn't put the Cheetos down. It's insanity. Oh, fuck, dude. That reminds me of another thing that just recently happened. I'm in the checkout line, in the self-checkout. It's where I go every time. The less people I have to deal with, the better, especially at the end of my shopping trip when I am in a mood. So I bring all my stuff up. I'm doing the thing, and the machine is a pain in the ass. Every time you scan an item, if you don't put it down on the thing within a certain amount of time, it's a big ass scale they have next to the register, and it registers every time you scan an item. It somehow it knows whatever the weight's supposed to be, but sometimes it doesn't work all the time. So even if you put it down, it'll be like, you didn't unexpected item in the bagging area, and then the light starts flashing, and one of the employees has to come over, press it, put their fucking card on it, would do the deal, whatever it is. This happened. A lady comes walking over, and now they stare at you the entire time. Although I do find people, I know what I look like. I know what I look like. I know what I dress like, and I am that stereotypical thing that happens in movies where you walk into a store and people are following you around. That happens to me everywhere I go. I've learned to accept it to a certain degree, but if it's a place that I go to often, it aggravates me to no end that you think I'm going to rob you when I'm in here all of the time. I mean, just off principle, I should fucking rob you. But that's a whole different thing. But dude, this lady comes walking over, and she scans the card on the thing, and no gloves, no hand sanitizer, and she goes, "I'm gonna have to check your bags," and then proceeds to stick her hands and touch every fucking item that I've just paid for. I go, "Are you I'm flipping in the store now. Are you fucking serious? Are you fucking serious? You just touched everything I just bought. Might as well go in the trash now." I don't know you. I don't know your hygiene habits. So I go over to the fucking courtesy desk. I don't complain, dude, but I'm like, I go, "Listen, you guys need to get your shit together. I don't know who is running this joint, but this lady just put her hands all over my shit, pandemic or not. I don't know what this person's hygiene is, and I don't appreciate that her hands were just all over my shit that I now have to bring home. I mean, you can't sterilize everything. It just drives me crazy." So when we're on the subject of supermarkets, there's a whole bunch of shit that goes into this. It would be the employees that work there, the other people that shop there, the prices, the cards that you have to have. Oh, enter your phone number and your email so you can get a sales price. Really, all that is, for anybody that doesn't know, and then I'll pass the mic back over to you, is the reason why all these stores want to get our ShopRite card, or get our whatever card, and you'll get a percentage off. The reason why they do that is because they want to keep an eye on what you're buying, so that they know what to hike the prices up for, what to get sales on, so that they can move more products. That's all that is. They used to just give you the fucking sale price and you would give them money for it. Now it seems like that's an unheard of concept. Everywhere you go, you have to give an email, a phone number. Well, what happened to just handing you money? John
I think
Panetta.
simplicity is long gone, isn't it?
Oh my God. dude, I'm scared, honestly, of the world that we are going into. Like, technology freaks me out in the sense, like, I think iRobot is some shit that could actually happen, dude. I mean, I know it's Hollywood and it's a little punched up for the movies, but the idea that we could lose control of artificial intelligence and create something that could potentially wipe us out, I think it's a possibility. But the idea of simplicity is gone completely. I mean, we're not really doing ourselves to any favor. But I know I'm old in the sense that I have a very hard time. I have a very hard time embracing new things,
Well,
especially
I'm
ones.
younger than you, and I feel the same way. So it's not just a case of you're a certain age. Like, do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah,
we might be some of the last older generation sort of thing, but like
yeah.
I'm a few years younger than you, and I feel exactly the same. So
Right, like you do find it difficult to. I don't know why. I guess it's just because it's such a drastic change,
but the
and
funny
it.
thing is my kids would probably look at me in a few years and be like, "You don't know nothing, Dad." And I'll be like, "You're right. Like, I don't
Yeah,
really want to."
yeah. You're
Like.
gonna be going to your youngest, going, can you help me figure this thing out? I don't know what the hell I'm doing.
Like they already frighten me when they're just on like their little like tablets or whatever and stuff. Like even on the phone and that, they're like so fast at what they're doing. I'm like, how did you just do that quickly? Like, what are you doing?
Dude,
And
it's
they're just like, what?
crazy.
What do you mean? Like I didn't do nothing. Like they're like, this is nothing. Like, and I'm like, I've never done that in my life.
No. And then to watch them play video games, the way they carry on with this Call of Duty, like you're getting smoked by 12-year-olds, dude. These kids don't fuck around.
Like I don't know if you ever played it, but I played Fortnite for a bit, and my little boy is better than me, and he's 7.5 years old, and he kicks my ass.
Oh, it's crazy. I tried once, dude. That game is whack. I shot somebody in the face 5 times, nothing happened. I'm like, fuck this game. Because
I don't
they
really
just.
like it. I kind of started playing it quite a bit because my boy had it, so I'd go and play like against him and on his team and that. But I only really did it because he loved it so much. But when I had to go against him, it was embarrassing.
Yeah, Jen's little brother is like they're obsessed with Fortnite. They love Call of Duty and shit like that. I don't mind. I hate Fortnite though. The way that the whole thing is set up. I don't mind playing games with them. It just I don't know. These new ones don't. They're so far removed from anything that I'm used to playing, and
Do
you
you know
gotta
what
hit
it is as
100
well? It
buttons.
goes into what we were just talking about. They're just complicating everything. Like when we
Yeah.
was coming up, there might be certain games that were really hard to like beat all the levels, but the basic idea of each thing was very simple. You only had like one or two things to do. They just changed the difficulty of it. But nowadays, like you've got to use all of the controller buttons for something, and you got to do like combos for everything. On that Fortnite, you can't just shoot people. You're supposed to like build stuff as well. Like
Mm.
just everything. Like they just complicate everything.
And meanwhile, these same kids that will kick ass in Fortnite and they can figure out puzzles and shit in these games can't read and write for shit. But they're rolled into this. It's weird. It's almost like they're developing. It's almost like they're developing a skill in replacement of basic reading and writing. I don't know. Is that the new world that we're going to be going into where everything is voice to text and maybe there's not going to be a reason to know how to spell or any need to learn how to read or whatever it is. Everything could be digital. I mean, soon you're gonna have a little automated voice in your ear just telling you everything that's going on. You won't even need to anymore. It's crazy. But so with this supermarket shit, people are having a hard time. They won't even go past you when you're in the store. Have you noticed prices going up?
Yeah, and
Anything
I've
like
noticed
that?
as well they put stuff on sale even in like my local shop, and then the next minute it's gone up from its original price when they took it off sale.
Right, like 80%, it seems like the markup is. If what you're buying, say you're buying something for $1, and then you go back 2 days later and they're trying to charge you 6, 7 more to whatever you were originally paid. Like, wait. What happened here?
Do you know what drives me crazy as well is when they do like limited edition stuff, and it's really nice, but then you can't ever get it again after a certain like date, and you're like, what was the point in that?
Yeah, so if I like it, why are you? Here's the thing that you really enjoy. Oh, you really enjoyed it? Cool. We'll never give it to you again.
I just never understood that. Like, surely if it does well, you get it into your store for a regular like basis of like having it there for the rest of the time. Like,
I mean,
it sells out and that, not just be like, oh, that did well, goodbye.
Yeah, like I was gonna say, I thought that was the whole point. I thought that was the whole point, is being like, oh, it sold well. All right, put it back on the shelf. That means it's good. We got a new product. Oh, it sold well. Oh, we got to make sure that doesn't happen. Get that the fuck out of there. Yeah.
And I've noticed as well, like, I know we said a lot of stuff is messed with now anyway, but 90% of the time, the stuff that's on sale is utter trash. Like, is like for you. Like, there's nothing. It's hardly anything that's ever on sale that's healthy.
You know what else I noticed too? Not only that, but especially recently, over the last year, I think it's been majority of the flyer of shit that's on sale are things like clean it, like you said, it's nothing healthy, but no, it seems like the only items that are on sale lately are candy, junk food, and cleaning supplies, like regular food, beef, chicken, all, things like that are all never on sale. I mean, dude, it's to the point now where if you want to get a family pack of chicken, or a regular pack of chicken, it's sometimes it goes to almost $20 for just a fucking, that's a dinner. I mean, I can't imagine having children in the day and age where everything is so expensive, dude. It's ridiculous. And how are you supposed to try to feed them healthy, to want to get them into the habit of eating shit that's good for them? I mean, it's not, you got to be rich. You got to be rich.
This goes into like the trap that we spoke about a lot of times on here of just how they control people with the food.
Sure.
Like, I've noticed as well, it's been happening for quite a few years now, but I feel like we're copying you over there again in terms of how they're selling stuff, because it's very hard now to get packaging or the amount of stuff you used to get. Like, say you want to get like a bag of crisps. Sometimes they have the option of what has always been there, but a lot of the time they only have what you're looking for in a massive bundle pack.
Oh, I hate that.
So you have to buy that bundle pack to get what you went for, because they're not selling it on its own anymore.
And then now all the rest of the shit you didn't want pretty much goes to waste because you don't like it, or whatever the case is. It sucks. Fucking sucks, dude. It's terrible. It's like there's nothing we can do to change.
No, this is the thing. Like, unless you're, like you said, unless you got tons of money and like you grow your own stuff and that, like you're screwed.
Okay, hold on.
You turn it into a robot for a minute.
Oh man. Well, the good thing is we don't have any other tabs open. I think we'll be all right. Hopefully that will. Let's try that. Okay. Yeah. Maybe that's the move. I take us out of the stream and then I put us back in real quick.
So yeah, I think as well, like, I think my kids and that probably, like, because I don't sort of look after the whole food side of it because I don't live with them. I think they pretty much most, like, 9 times out of 10 they survive on like stuff that's on sale, like in the shop, just for the food and that, because my ex doesn't work or nothing, so she relies on like benefit money that she gets for not having a job, but being like, I think she's classed as a single parent, but that's because I don't think they're aware of me as much, because if they were, they'd be on at me, and I'm not even in a job at the moment or anything, and I don't live with her anyway, so just complicates it. So I think they survive mostly on like stuff that's on sale in the shops and that, which, like we were saying, the majority of the time is just trash for them anyway. But it's just how you control people.
It fucking sucks, man. Like, I don't understand. We don't need this like this. Like, we don't have to have. I understand there's a lot of people, but I don't think there's a reason why these animals should be stacked on top of each other in such a way where they're getting shot up with all types of antibiotics, and everybody's eating pesticides and who the fuck knows what. And it's always the same excuse, but we got so many people, you got to keep up with the supply and demand. Like, not really, I don't think. There has to be better ways to do this that in turn make it a little bit easier and healthier. Because I mean, dude, we got 10, 12-year-old girls walking around with full grown tits. That's not normal. I mean, I understand some people hit puberty earlier than others, but it seems like now, with everything that's in the food, like we always used to joke like, oh, there must be something in the water, but seriously, there must be something that is happening, because it's not normal for a child to go through changes that early on, man. It's crazy.
And the scary thing with that as well is like whole TikTok and Instagram and everything, they advertise that sort of stuff for younger people now, especially girls, to be like, this is normal and healthy, this is what you should aspire to look like.
Yeah, that shit kills me too, dude. I don't like that at all. The false narrative of, you have to be 100 pounds to be attractive, and put on 6 pounds of makeup and eat a cracker. That's all you could do. That's all
Thing
you
is,
could
you get
do.
that over here a lot. I've noticed you get that a lot with the girl side of it. Then on the boys' side, it's the whole like drill scene in the music, and like getting a gang and like get a car, and do you know what I mean? All the fucking shit that's gonna put you in prison.
Yeah, because that's the coolest shit. Everybody thinks until you're actually in the fucking jail or the prison, and then you realize how not fucking cool it is. Which actually a pretty nice segue into the snitching.
Yeah, I didn't even mean to do that. That wasn't intentional.
But I mean, seriously, you talk about this. So, well, for people that are not aware, I've heard of drill. But what is that mumble rap for the UK?
See, if I get this wrong, people are going to be going on at me now. I've never really been into it, so I've never really
Okay, so there's a chance.
Too much, but...
Disclaimer, we're probably wrong 100% with whatever comparisons we make or the definition of things to be explained. So
I don't know the actual, like the BPM in music that they use.
Yeah.
Like with grime, it's 120, I think. Is that right?
Okay.
I can't even remember what it is in grime. I think it was. And then with drill, I don't know if it's more or less, but it's to do with like the speed of the beat and just the sound of it. I'll have to send you some stuff just to give you an example of how it sounds. But it's all like low vibration.
That sounds like brainwashing techniques.
And it is a bit like mumble rap, but instead of mumbling, they're talking about killing people, and it's always usually gangs as well. They have like people in the videos and that are either doing verses or they're just in the video, and they've all got knives and everything, and they've got
knifed up, flagged up.
And I've noticed as well with a lot of the platforms over here that like the Grime Daily and the SBTV and JDZ Media and that, which is a lot of the media platforms that like put the videos and that out. Even like Charlie Sloth and Fire in the Booth and that now. 9 times out of 10 now, when they have new freestyles and that, people...
It's that trash.
And they're on like Radio 1 and that, which is weird because they censor a lot of what they're saying. but they're on camera doing a freestyle in balaclavas, and they're getting all these opportunities over people that are actually, you know what I mean, actually trying to help
Talented.
people and like talk about positive stuff. And I've noticed that a lot in the last 2 or 3 years over here, that they're getting the most push over everything now, like, and they're talking about murders and everything.
Yeah, that bothers me, especially with the way Charlie carries on. I watched Fire in the Booth, dude, and when I first found it, I was excited. I was like, "Oh man, this is great." It's somebody that actually, because the first one I saw was Loki. He was on there and it destroyed it, right? So I'm watching it, and unfortunately, one of those artists came on where it's just complete, in my opinion, complete trash. And Charlie was carrying on like it was the greatest thing he's ever heard. And I'm thinking to myself, I can understand getting hyped up about some Mike Righteous. I can
Well, he
understand.
just had a new SBTV out that I did a reaction to, but it's more on the Fire of the Booth side of things, because they'll still put people on like low key or something, but it'll usually be like once a year, and then for the
Yeah.
rest of the year, it's just fucking spammed with all this negativity.
Ugh, I hate it, dude. I hate it. But you know what, though? Honestly, I don't know when the change happened, but ratting, people are trying to make ratting seem cool. I don't.
See, for me, it's difficult. I think it depends on like the circumstance, but I used to be of the like, sounds like how you are about it, like that you don't talk to the police about your own people, or you'll take a sentence for them. But this is where I got a problem, because I don't understand why someone would potentially be in prison for the rest of their life for something they didn't do, because they don't want to drop someone else in it. Because if it was reversed, would that person always do the same thing for you?
Chances are probably not.
Like, why do you want to throw your life away just to be like? It's like, to me, it's like an ego thing. It depends on the circumstance, but I feel like I wouldn't be willing to throw my life away just to say to everyone, or have everyone respect me for not like telling on them when I'm innocent, and I've just thrown away my life, so you don't have to go to prison.
I mean, you make a valid point, but the way that I'm thinking of it is simply this. I have a little bit of experience, a couple different ways with this. I actually have. All right, we'll start out small. When I was younger, friend of mine who, I mean, we've known each other. I met him at the end of the 5th grade when I first moved into Ocean Gate. I didn't know anybody, and he basically came over to me. He was a popular kid already, even back then, and he was like, "Hey, dude, you're new around here. I'll show you around and tell you who to stay away from and what to do, and I'll show me the ropes and all that." So we hang out, and years go by, and fast forward, we're walking around just bullshitting, whatever, and they see my friend. We were with a kid from Staten Island who supposedly was the big thing around here. Is everybody's a tough guy. Everybody's a tough guy out here. I don't know what it is. I guess it's because we're close to New York and Philly, and those places are rough, but everybody wants to be tough. We're walking around, and it's around Christmas time. There's Christmas wreaths that are sitting out, and they're behind a fence. There's a huge rip in the fence, though, and one of this dude that I'm with goes, I want to grab one of those for my mom, right? Like, let's go and grab one. So I was like, dude, I'm not doing none of that shit. So I wind up standing around, and I'm looking, keeping a fucking lookout somebody winds up coming. They grab the reef. They run out from underneath the fence, and we all start hauling ass. But they figured out. What had happened, except everybody got blamed for the whole thing. I know the story is all fucked up. It happened so long ago. I don't even, maybe middle school. I think that's how long ago we're talking about. But the point of the story is, I didn't steal a damn thing. The kid that we were with from Staten Island, when the cops came, that dude rolled over on us so fucking fast, dude, to save his own ass, threw me under the bus. I wasn't even involved, but for fear of getting his fucking ass beat by the other kid that I was with, he threw me under the bus, going like, well, I know I could take that kid. Not a big deal. Long story short, I wound up doing community service for like 50 hours, something crazy like that. I have to pay a fine. I go through this whole thing. Meanwhile, the kid that actually took it, he got away with everything scot-free completely. Not that I wanted the kid to go down, and I took the fucking, what was I gonna do? Argue and throw the other kid under the bus? I was like, oh, whatever, I'll just fucking take it, but fuck this kid, right? So that's the first time something like that had happened. But I realized I have a difficult time with this, because when I brought this up yesterday, I was telling Jen what it was we were going to be talking about, and she was like, well, the question is, like, do you never rat ever? I'm like, yeah, no, you shouldn't never. And she's like, well, what if you see a pedophile trying to pick up a kid? Is that considered ratting still? Because but I don't think so. I think that's different. I think if you see something like that happening, that's a different situation. You have a responsibility to fucking try to stop something evil like that from happening. But there's a big difference between, stopping a pedophile from abducting a child and ratting some guy out in the neighborhood that is trying to get by, even if it's not the best way. But I mean, I understand.
I just want to know who come up with the idea in the first place. Like, who said, right, if I kill someone and they think it's you that killed them, you now have to do life for me. And the other person's like, yeah, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, fuck that. Well, you know what it is, dude? Here's the problem. Is what they don't tell you is once you I'm gonna have to go into my weed story here. I know I'm a broken record, but all right, here we go. This is
start having sponsorships for them.
Yeah. I'm gonna go into this thing, dude. Since I was about 15, on and off, weed has been a part of my life. I discovered it early. When I figured out that it would help with the pain, I was like, oh, this is fucking beautiful. Plus, this is the only drug. My first question when it came to drugs was always, how much do I have to do? And if I have to take more than one dose, it ain't worth it. I don't need to get there that badly, right? But I'm afraid of everything. I'm a square to the core. So anyway, years go by, right? And weed is not cheap. The shit doesn't buy itself, and you can't grow it when you live in an apartment with your fucking mom and you're sleeping on the floor. It's not like you have the room to grow a damn plant somewhere. So I had to do what I had to do. I get into selling a little bit of it. And I didn't do it because I wanted to be a tough guy. I wasn't trying to be Scarface. The problem was, weed is expensive, but it helps me with the pain. I can't get a doctor to write me a prescription for medicine. And this is before I actually started seeing doctors. But, so I wound up going into selling it. And long story short, I got narked out. Here's the reason why I bring this up. Once they get you, it's like the mafia. Once the cops get a hold of you, that's it. No, like they actually tried to get me to narc on people. They told me I was looking at 3 years. When they arrested me, they got me on a direct sale, which means I didn't sell to a cop. I sold to an informant. It was a guy that was doing heroin. I found all this out later, but there was a guy that was doing heroin that got caught with it, either selling it, using it. Somehow they caught this kid, and they were like, well, you have two choices. You can go to prison or you can work for us. And what they do is they'll have you wear a mic where you wear a wire, and then you go out, they give you marked bills. So they have it written down, the serial numbers on the money. So as soon as the exchange happens, when you spend that money, they can go and find exactly where it is somehow. So that's how this kid got wrapped into it. And he decided to narc out. He got me arrested. I sold to him, which got me fucked. You have to sell 3 times. That's how they get you. 3 times. I mean, I don't think they need it 3 times as long as the intent is there. I'm pretty sure they could take you down. But what I'm getting at.
That surprises me. I'm surprised that it's only. Well, I thought once would be enough for them to be like, right, we're coming to get you.
I think it depends, because if they're trying to show the fact that you're distributing, like if that's your thing, like in other words, you could come to me and you got like, I want to grab a bag of weed or whatever. I'd be like, all right, well, here, just take some of this, whatever. But they're trying to build the case to prove that I'm distributing, so that I'm picking up weight and I'm selling it. And in order to do that, that's why they do the 3 sales, because it shows the intent that you're distributing. But if they wanted to, they could just get you off of the 1 sale, but then that's a less of a charge, I think.
And it makes them look better as well, doesn't it? And you worse. Like if they can be like in court or whatever, be like, this is the 3rd time this guy's been doing this, like, and he would have done it more. Like,
right.
It just makes them look better and you look worse.
And then they can also go, well, see, right now he's selling weed, but how long is it going to take before he gets into coke or heroin? You know, which I would never, obviously, I wouldn't sell some shit I wouldn't do myself, but that's a whole separate argument. Anyway, they wound up arresting me, dude. And these cops are filthy, because they arrest me and they bring me in interrogation. Now, they had me on recording. What fucked me, according to the cops, was this kid called me, to go into the story real quick, this kid called me 100 fucking times in one day. That's not an exaggeration. Kept calling and calling and calling and calling. Eventually, because I was done. I wasn't gonna do it anymore, but I got pushed to fucking, well, get rid of it. I don't want this shit in my house. It's a whole thing I had to go into. Once weed is officially legalized, I go into the whole thing. But when I'm in the interrogation room, they tell me they got me on a charge of 3.5 grams. They have me on a direct sale. I'm looking at 3 years in jail, unless I narc on somebody. They're like, you got somebody that you can. What they wanted me to do, they handed me a phone. They have a phone right next to you in the interrogation room, and the detective pushes the phone towards me, and he goes, so you mean to tell me, like, so who gave you the weed? That's what they want to know. Who gave it to you? Look, this is how they do it. Look, man, we know you're just a nickel and dimer. It's not you we want. We don't want the little fish. We want the big fish. But we can't get the big fish we need your help. Are you going to go down for the person that gave you this weed? Do you really want to go to jail? Because that's what's going to happen. What they don't tell you is they own you forever. But he goes, there's a phone right there. He goes, you mean to tell me you can't pick up that phone and call somebody right now to get a bag of weed? So they wanted me in the interrogation room to pick up that phone, call somebody I know, get them to agree to sell me some shit, go there in person with a microphone on me and marked bills and make the deal. And it wasn't going to stop. That's what they don't tell you. That's what you don't see in the fucking movies is once they have you, they use it to blackmail you forever. You're never out. You'll be a narc forever because every time you go, all right, well, that's it. I did it. I made the thing that you wanted me to do. And they're like, you're done when we say you're done. Like, that's legitimate, dude. They want you forever. I was like, I can't. My logic of thinking behind not ratting is I don't want to do life for anybody. But at the same time, I fucked up. So why am I going to put you in a position that I myself don't want to be in? That's not right either. So while I'm not looking to take a rap for anybody, I don't want to throw other people under the bus because I don't want to go to jail. And then not only that, but just because you narc on somebody doesn't guarantee that you're going to not go to jail anyway. And then as soon as they find out that you did it, you're fucking done. Because the cops have no qualms with sending you to fucking jail. They won't tell you this, but I mean, you can see it in documentaries and shit. The cops hate informants more than they do criminals. Because there are some cops that have admitted it, but, you know, there's a lot of police that believe in, you know, you don't cross the blue line and we stick together and this is a brotherhood. There are a lot of cops that believe in that shit. So when they see an informant, even though, you know, you could say cops and criminals are not the same, the logic is the same. If a cop does some wrong shit, he expects that guy standing with him to keep his mouth shut. The same way the fucking criminals do. They hate informants with a passion because they think they're scummier than the criminals. At least the criminals, you know, it's fucked up. But that's the logic behind it for me. They told me I was facing 3 years. I honestly thought I was going to jail for 3 years, dude. I really did. I really did.
When it was going on, did you have any suspicion that this matey was trying to like trap you so they could take you in?
Yeah. I knew it.
Why did you like go ahead with it, sort of thing? If you had the suspicion, was it just like, oh fuck it, they're gonna get me anyway, or?
No. All right. Here's what happened. From the very beginning, I didn't go with my instincts, and that's stupid. If there's any advice I can give any of you watching this in the future, is your instinct is not always the best thing to ignore. And here's why I say that. I had a very small group of people that I was dealing to, like 6 or 7 people. I kept it very small because the more people that you deal to, the greater your chances are that you're going to get in trouble because somebody's going to get caught. So I literally was 5 or 6 people, whatever. Random person gets introduced to me through one of the other people that I was selling to. And turns out that Jen knows this kid. They supposedly went to vocational school together. And she's like, oh, yeah, I know Dan, whatever his fucking name is. I think that's his name. She's like, oh, yeah, I know Dan. We went to vocational school together. He's cool. I'm like, well, I never met him before in my life. She's like, oh, you know, it's all right. Don't worry about it. He's not a bad kid. I mean, I haven't seen him in years, but I'm sure he's all right. Just off of that alone, I shouldn't have sold to the kid, but I'm a fucking idiot. I was in a rush. We had somewhere to be. The kid showed up at the fucking house. I was like, you know what? Here, just take it. I sold him an eighth, which is 3 grams. And I told him to be on his way, $60 right there. So he leaves. And apparently the day that he left, the cops pulled him over and found the weed on him. And immediately, I find this out later, he rolled over. It was like, oh, I bought it from this kid down the street. He lives over here. Immediately, the cops set up surveillance. Not more than, I think, a week later, the kid shows back up again. Now, he's got the cop with him. The informant, rather, I should say. He's got that guy with him. I go, whoa. Who the fuck is that? Who the fuck is that? He's like, oh, this is my friend. This is my friend Elijah. I still remember his fucking name. Dude, fuck you. Wherever you are in the world, fuck you, you scumbag piece of shit. You scumbag piece of shit. There's, you just don't do certain things, dude. You get yourself into fucking. I don't want to get sidetracked. This fucking guy goes, oh, this is my friend Elijah. He's cool, whatever. Don't worry about it. I go, dude, I don't deal with strangers, right? But again, the pressure is on me. Like, oh, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I go against my instincts. I even told Jen, I'm like, dude, that guy, I'll bet you money that dude's a fucking cop, bro. How much you want to bet? And people make fun of me all the time because I am overly paranoid. So, I have thoughts like this all the time. People are like, dude, you think everybody is suspect. Like, what makes this any different? So it makes it easier for you to dismiss your own fucking thoughts. And, that's how it happened. How he got me is he was wearing a New Era hat, a baseball hat. And, they have the stickers on them. This motherfucker had a microphone under the sticker. The microphone was about the size of a fucking pinhead, dude. That's how they got me. It was all on recording. The kid pointed me out in a fucking yearbook picture. And what's fucked up is that if I didn't have that picture in the yearbook, they would have never found me. I had 6 addresses on file, not intentionally. It just, I was moving all over the place. I was homeless, trying to find places to live throughout the years, but
Was he with you when they come and arrested you? Was he with you at the time? Or?
No, that's you. It's funny you bring that up because that's usually how they do it. Yeah. When the cops tried to get me to be an informant for them, they literally told me, they were like, we'll give you. I go, so wait a second. Because, I'm going to take advantage of the situation while I'm in here. How is this going to work? You're trying to get me killed. Right now, I'm not here to lie to anybody. When I was in the interrogation room, I cried like a bitch, dude. I thought I was going away for 3 years. I was fucking scared. I'm not a tough guy. I'm not here to lie to nobody. So if the tape ever fucking leaks, it's not going to be a surprise. I was carrying on like a baby. But what do you want from me? I'm not a hardened criminal. So dude, I'm like, dude, how am I supposed to make these deals? Well, here's how it happens. We put a microphone on you. We give you marked bills. And then we have you go and meet up with people. And then once the drugs and the money exchanges hands, we come in and arrest both of you so that it looks good. And then once we get you into holding, what they'll do is they'll make it look like they're going to take me from the holding cell and put me in a regular cell, except that's when I walk away. And then I'm out and I'm available to go do another arrest while this guy is still in the jail. The problem is somebody sees everything. People will know I just got arrested with this kid yesterday. How am I out right now? Word travels fast. You know what I mean?
I've never been to prison, but I would assume that, like you said, someone's watching something all the time, and word probably spreads quickly in them places.
Not to mention, dude, these I'm even sure. I mean, I'm sure this sounds ridiculous, but corrections officers, I'm sure, don't make that much money. How hard would it be?
They're easily going to get someone that's going to take money, aren't they, to get paid off to be like inside on it. Like,
yeah, exactly. So, dude, what the reason why I wound up not going with my instinct was a couple of reasons. Jen's mom was pregnant with her little brother at the time. We're talking 15 years ago now. This is before, like, the baby is coming, and we don't want drugs in our fucking house. I'm like, well, look, dude, I only have an eighth left. I only got 3 grams left. That's it. They're like, well, we want that money. You're in our house selling these drugs. We want that fucking money. So go sell it. I don't care who you fucking sell it to. Either you sell the rest of that weed or you can leave my fucking house. That's basically what it was. And if they ever hear this, they're going to be mad that I fucking said it. That's what fucking happened. get rid of this shit now. I don't want it in my house, and go make the money for it so that we can take the money from you for living here. That's how it fucking happened, really. Because if I was left to my own device, I would not have sold it to that kid. Maybe I would have. I can't blame it all on them, and I fucked up, whatever. But it's the point that partially their greed made the situation happen. If they would have just waited a week, it would have been gone. I would have used it myself, and that would have been it.
And I was just thinking as well, like, if that money had have got to Jen's mum and that, they would have been in the shit as well. Because even if they like would have spent it, or even if it's in their bank account and they're not even aware, do you know what I mean? Even if you're not aware of where that money's come from, you're now tied into all that shit.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's absolutely. I mean, to tell you the truth, I don't even know where that $50 went. I have no idea. But that $50 cost me 14 years of my life. For $50, when my lawyer cost me, I think, $1,200, and that was a deal that guy gave me because he's usually $400 an hour. But this
It's
guy
crazy as
knowing
well. They make it seem like they're doing you a favor, and you're like, well, I've got no money at all to do this. And they're like, yeah, we're doing you a favor though. And you're like, well, you might as well have just charged me the full price.
Yeah, hold on 1 second. I'm gonna go grab a drink real quick. Okay. I forgot where I was at now, or what the last thing that you said was. Oh no. Fuck. What the hell was it? Damn, I can't remember, dude. I can't remember what the last thing was that. Oh, maybe I had to rewind. I think I had to pull up our show and see if I can find it. Whoa, hold on. What was the last thing that I was fucking saying, dude? I know we were talking about marked money, 14 years of my life, can't get back. Oh my god, this is I got a terrible fucking memory, dude.
I've got it. You were saying about your, like, how you had to pay for your lawyers.
Oh shit, yeah, that's right. This guy was like $400 an hour, but he turns out he used to be a police officer. This guy, and he wasn't really doing. Yeah, so he went from being a cop, and then he decided to be. I'm pretty sure he was a cop for a little while. He was a prosecutor. Or I might be confused with somebody
if I
else.
was in your position, knowing that he used to be a cop, I'd be like, is he in on this? Like, is he part of is he on their side?
Like, dude, when I went to a few lawyers, to tell you the truth. There was one guy that wanted $1,500. And he said, like, he goes, so what are you charged with? Now, you're not supposed to admit guilt ever, I don't think. Like, the lawyer doesn't want to know if you're guilty or innocent. Like, even though they know you probably did it, you can't straight up, I don't think you're allowed to straight up admit that you're guilty. I think that violates the law somehow. I don't know. But I was bullshitting these lawyers like, yeah, I don't know what happened. they got me, right? Like, I don't know how they did it. The guy goes, this one lawyer goes, look, it's not like they pulled your name out of a fucking hat. Obviously, they got you somehow. You did it. He goes, you need a lawyer because in America, you can't go to court without a lawyer, even if that means a public defender, which save the money. Don't get a public defender because you'll do the max sentence of whatever it is. The
So
public
what happens
defender
if
just
you-
stands there.
What happens if you have to go to court, but you haven't got the money for a lawyer? Like, what happens?
That's what then the court appoints you a public defender, which is basically a public defender is a lawyer in training, pretty much.
All right, okay.
It's somebody that has passed the bar, so technically they're certified as a lawyer, but this is their way of, they get thrown cases by the state, except it's thousands of cases. So they're literally, it's just a person that's certified that just stands next to you. That's all. That's all they're for. They're not fighting on your behalf. I mean, when I went for the terroristic threats at first, I had a fucking public defender meet me in the jail. That was fucking, oh my god. But I mean, I can get into that later. But this dude, the guy, the first lawyer I was talking about, he wanted $1,500, and he said, you pay me $1,500, I will escort you to the police station and you can sign the affidavit so that you can. So basically, he wanted me to pay him $1,500 to be a rat, to stand there to witness me be a fucking rat. And I was like, are you kidding me? This is insanity. I'm not doing that. So I called around every person I know, and somebody finally came up with the lawyer's name that I actually wound up using. Guy was $400 an hour, but he was a sweetheart of a guy, because he was like, dude, you couldn't afford me, man. He goes, but you know what? Like, I come in and we'll talk. We'll sit and we'll talk. So he's going over my record, and this is technically my first offense ever in my life outside of the terroristic threats thing. But he was like, well, dude, obviously I can see that this is not something you do all the time. He's like, basically, I'll take the hit and charge you less money so that I know you're represented. But he goes, if after I do this, if I take the hit on this fucking money and you go back to doing this bullshit again, don't call me. I will not help you. So I was like, all right, man. So, basically, I felt like I was with a movie star, dude. When we went into the court, he knew everybody. He knew the cops. He knows the process. Dude, when I tell
Walking
you,
in like it's his local bar, like, what's up?
yeah, that's exactly what he was doing. Hey, how's it going? We're still on for dinner Friday, right? And they're like, dude, crazy. I'll never forget this as long as I live, dude. We're standing outside the court the day of my sentencing, and he goes, all right, listen, I play golf with the judge on weekends.
For fuck's sake.
He goes, I'm probably going to be able to get this down to weekends, but there is a chance that you're going to do time for real. He goes, but
this is
because
like a Netflix show.
Yeah. He goes, because I play golf with the lawyer, because I play golf with the judge on weekends, he'll probably give you a break. He goes, but listen, this is very important. When we go in there, even if he says you're doing whatever amount of time that you're doing only on weekends, do not smile at all. Don't look happy. Keep your fucking face straight, because if this dude thinks for a second that by giving you a lesser sentence you got over on him, he will crucify you. Because listen, dude, they're trying to make an example out of you right now. This was when I think Obama was doing, I think the day I went into my sentencing, Obama loosened the weed laws a little bit to make the sentencing less. And the court wanted to make it a point to go, just because the sentences are lessened doesn't mean that we're going to take it any fucking easier. We'll throw the book at you. So they really were going to give me 3 years for fucking 3 grams. But because of this, because I lucked out and happened to get such a good lawyer, it turns out he plea bargained for me, and I got what was called pre-trial intervention. Because this was my first offense, technically, that means I do 3 years probation, and then after that 3 years, if I don't violate and I don't fail a piss test, then my record is supposed to be expunged and wiped clean, except I'm not allowed to talk about it, which is the reason why I haven't really gone into it. They told me legally that I wasn't supposed to ever bring up any details of the case at all, but I mean, it's been over 14 years. My record's not expunged. Don't look like it's going to be. But I had 7 people narked me out, dude. 7 motherfuckers.
This is what I'm saying. Like, you had that loyalty, but for what? See,
the problem is, dude, one of the people that did it, and I brought this on myself. This kid, he was younger, not crazy young. I told him not to get involved in this shit. He didn't want to fucking listen to me. He thought he knew what the fuck he was doing, so he was selling to all his fucking dummy friends with whatever he would. Because I won't help, dude. I won't help you do it. You got children. Don't come to me and look for me to put you on, because I'm not doing it, dude. I'm not going to be responsible for your children not having a father. I'm not going to do it. So, this dude winds up getting wrapped up. He got caught selling to one of his fucking dumb friends, and immediately he narked me out and then told me. He told me, basically, he goes, dude, listen, I threw you under the bus, dude, because I figured if anybody would understand, you would understand. I got kids, man. Like, yeah, but then you shouldn't have been fucking selling drugs,
exactly.
Dummy.
Yeah.
Why the fuck do I gotta give up my life now? What am I supposed to do? You know what, dude? Fine. But then straighten your fucking life out, man. I mean, I could be mad all I want, but at least that kid, I mean, I see him on Facebook all the time, that, he's in his kid's life every single day. And I know it would have only been for a little while that he probably would have went to jail, but that could have made a dip. If it took me to go to fucking jail for him to straighten his life out and be there for his children, then I guess that's what was supposed to fucking happen. I would rather... It's been fucked up to sacrifice 14 years of my life, but I deserved it. I fucked up, whatever.
You know what? I've never done anything to that level, but I've always had temptations. But ever since my first kid was born, it's like, even if I get the thoughts, it's like there's a wall up now. It's like you can't even entertain that thought anymore.
Yeah.
And I probably wouldn't have done it anyway before, because I'm just not really I wouldn't take a risk to fucking get potentially put in prison. You know what I mean? But there was probably, I could have probably tricked my mind a bit more back in the day before I had kids, if I was desperate to go and do something. But since I had my kids, it's like, as soon as you get the thought, you're like, well, it's just pointless, because you're not going to act on it, because you can't. Because, you know what I mean? I'd never forgive myself for that.
It's brutal, dude. I mean, that's the other person that narked me out. All of this because I wouldn't sell weed to a pregnant girl, and also, well, 3 things. That kid with his child narking me out because he knows I wouldn't shoot him in the face like other people.
Can I just say as well, I know it's not it's better than fucking coke or whatever, but I don't care how good you think weed is. You shouldn't be smoking it when you're pregnant.
Yeah, exactly. No, I agree 100%. I mean, if you want to use certain aspects of it, like put the stems in a tea or whatever to calm the morning sickness and shit like that, I can understand doing that. But you definitely have dude, don't fucking be putting shit in your, like, you could fuck the kid up, dude. You don't
That
know.
I get funny about people like just smoking it around kids, let alone if you're
That's
pregnant and you're doing it. Like,
That's a big deal for me, dude. I can't. I won't. I won't. I won't do it, dude. I won't do it. I will not around. Nope. Not even after it's legal. It just you don't. There's certain things you don't do, dude. I won't. I won't. Not in front of kids. No, that's not.
see, this is a little bit off topic, but it relates to what we're on about. Wiz Khalifa, he's got a little boy, and he's brought him out on like shows and stuff, and he's in his videos, but he's smoking around him, and he's got all of his mates around him, and they're all smoking and that, and his little boy's probably about 7 or something, maybe slightly younger, and do you know what I mean? He's just in that environment now. He's providing for him, and he's not in prison or nothing, and he's probably legal where he's doing it, but I still don't think that makes it right. Like, that kid's surrounded by all his friends, like Wiz Khalifa's friends and that, and they're all just smoking and that, and he's probably got a load of women around. And
Well, the way that they got to think of it is like this: is you wouldn't smoke a cigarette around your child.
And
You
this
know
is
what I
from
mean?
someone that I used to listen to him a lot. I've actually gone and seen him live. Like, I was a fan of his, but when I see that sort of stuff, I'm like, you shouldn't be doing that.
Yeah, I'm a bit conservative with that shit too, dude. Like, there's at the end of a song Lil Wayne does, "Misunderstood," where he's talking about he's smoking a blunt while he's talking, and he mentions in the middle of a weed cough, he goes, that's the good weed. He goes, listen, I have a fucking daughter, and I don't know why that shit really bothers me, dude. Not the idea that it's not that you can't smoke weed and take care of your kid. You can. It just, I don't think those two things belong in a sentence together.
Because,
you know what I mean?
Like, he could get to a certain age, his boy, and they could have the conversation, and then his boy might end up smoking it anyway. But it's the fact that he's so young and he's in that environment without necessarily having a say in it.
Yeah. That's a tough one, dude. I'm real big on that. I don't like to do that shit. Like, I won't even. I hate it. I yell at the kids all the time. Like, get the fuck. If I have a cigarette, dude. Like, I don't. There's nothing. You don't need to be around this. Get away from me. I don't want you breathing in this bullshit, dude. Like, get the fuck out of here. I can't. I'm real big on that, dude. I hated being around smoke when I was a kid, but I don't. Fucking blows, dude. I couldn't do
I
it.
wanted to just ask you something about going back to the lawyer stuff for a minute.
Yeah.
How, like, I know some people are just, they only care about money and it's a job, but I've never understood how a defense lawyer can do their job. Like, can you imagine defending a paedophile, knowing that they're guilty, but you got to be on their side for your job?
Well, the thing with that is even a scumbag like that, the only way you could do it, the only way I would be able to rationalize it to myself is no matter how much of a piece of shit this person is, they have a right to an attorney.
Yeah, but should they?
Yeah, but that's a slippery slope, though, dude.
Yeah, but why is it a slippery slope when you're touching a little boy's dick?
See, but wait. See, I know how it's easy to get caught up. It's easy to get caught up.
We was switching roles and I was about to go off on one.
Like, dude, listen, the reason why I say that, though, is because if we deny them even the basic right to an attorney, what's to stop that from becoming a trend? Whereas, it starts with pedophiles, and now maybe drug dealers don't have the right to an attorney, and before you know it, it could be, people already take the word of a cop over a civilian already. So it's dangerous.
I get, like, if they're innocent, innit? But if you know that they're guilty, I just don't understand how you can do that. Like, especially with like a paedophile or someone that's raped someone or something. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you know that they're guilty, but you still have to do your job. I'd be like, I just don't understand how you can do it.
There's a great Boston Legal episode about this, dude. William Shatner is he plays a guy, Denny Crane, who is in this show. Denny Crane is a big time lawyer, dude. His name is on the door at the firm. He's a big deal. He's me tooing people in the hallway and shit, but he's fucked up. He don't know better. He's a old school maniac, right? So the judge winds up calling Denny in, and he goes, "Listen, you're not gonna like this, but there's somebody that needs to be represented that needs a lawyer, right?" So they go, like, all right, I guess I'll do it. Denny shows up to the court, and it turns out this guy raped and murdered a 12-year-old girl. So now Denny's in the court. When the charges get read, he turns around and he goes, I'm not representing this guy. And the judge is like, what the yes, you are. It's like, no, I'm not. No, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. Right? Like, and then the dude is proud of it too, man. The dude is proud of it too. Like, he's happy about it. Long story short, to get out of having to represent this dude, Denny Crane shoots him.
That'd do it.
He shot him right in the fucking kneecap. He's like, you piece of shit. Like, I'm not doing, like, dude, I refuse to do it. I refuse to do it. I did like that they touched up on that, because, you know, that does have to be hard. I feel bad for the people who
see, this is what I don't understand. Innocent until proven guilty, I completely get. No matter what your charges. But once they've got evidence and they know that they're guilty, why have they still got to do that job? Do you know what I mean? I just don't understand it.
Yeah, well, I mean, it's going through the motions, I suppose. I mean, I'm not for pedophiles at all in the least bit, but I don't want, again, I'll quote the Brother Ali line from Civil War, you know, off of The Martyr, Immortal Technique. But he said, the moment you refuse the human rights for just a few, what happens when that few includes you? Because we've seen them do it before. And whilst pedophiles are scumbag people, they would just use that as an excuse to eventually take the rights away from everybody. Like, it's the same way, like, these terrorists, you know, like, oh, but why should anybody, why don't we just shoot them dead in the street and whatever? It's because that's a dangerous logic of thinking, because then you can rationalize it to anybody that you don't agree with, and that's not good either. I mean, it sucks that people like this exist, that they do these terrible fucking things, but they do have a right to be represented, even though they're the fucking scumbags of the earth and they should be thrown under the fucking jail. They do have a right to be represented, and they should be, because that's what this country should be about, is that, you know, even if you've done the fucking most vile, horrible, disgusting thing in the fucking world that you could think of, you should even still have the right to have somebody argue on your behalf, even though, like, it's just, they're going through the motions. I don't think there's a lawyer that would, knowing that their client is guilty, like, try to overly, I don't think they're going to fight as hard as they would for somebody that they know is a possibility they might not be. Yeah. I feel bad for the people who get accused of being a pedophile or being a rapist when they're not. But once that label gets put on you, that's it. I mean, I know it doesn't happen often, I'm sure, but there are cases, I'm sure, where that has happened, where somebody has been, or, you know what, since we're on the topic, one thing that really bothers me with the pedophile laws is, if a 16-year-old boy sends his dick to a 16-year-old girl and they get caught by the school, that's considered child pornography, distribution and possession of child pornography. But they're both children. I don't understand. Like, so if you catch a 16-year-old kid You catch a 16-year-old girl with a bunch of dick pics on her phone. That's not child porn.
And you
She's
see
a
what that does
child.
as well is that you're telling them kids that them doing that to someone their age is just as dangerous as if flipping an old man or an old woman was doing it to the kid.
Exactly. I don't agree with that at all. I've heard some cases where I'm pretty sure I read this, heard about it a few years back. I might have the details wrong, but that there was a guy and a girl in high school that were exchanging nudes with each other, and they got caught, and they both got classified as pedophiles. Meanwhile, they're fucking children. That's what you're supposed to do. Man, if I had $1 for every time I took a picture of my dick when I was in middle school and high school,
you'd have a yearbook of photos.
It's part of growing up, dude. It's not. At least there wasn't Twitter and Instagram back then. My dick would have been everywhere, I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure you could probably find it on a couple websites. There used to be a site called Rate My Dick. People, a bunch of girls told me that she could fucking go on that. By a bunch, I mean 2, but it sounded better if I say a bunch. Makes it seem like there's a lot more.
2 for 1.
Yeah. That's the shit, though, dude. If you ever get the opportunity in your life, 2 girls give you head at the same time, oh, forget it. That's the move, dude. That's the move. It's
I don't think I'll be able to enjoy it long enough.
bro. It's a beautiful world that we live in, man. Sometimes, occasionally, just for only that, at that moment, even though I'm a sick unit and I couldn't even enjoy it, my own sick brain robbed me of the enjoyment of getting blown by 2 women at the same time. Going, well, they're only doing that because they really want to fuck each other, and you're just the thing in the middle. How fucked up is that, dude? You can't even enjoy a goddamn. That's never gonna happen again. It'll never happen again. Goddamn it! What the fuck?
I just wanted to say something on going back to the snitching before I forget. I've been watching a thing like SAS soldiers, which are basically, I don't know if it's exactly the same, but I think it would be similar to your what do they call them, like Navy SEALs, that sort of thing. So I've been on these episodes, and a few of the episodes they're doing like interrogation to see which of them, basically like contestants on this show, but then one of them gets to be an actual soldier at the end of it. And they were doing one recently where they were interrogating like groups of them, and they all like had an alibi story to come up to when they're getting questioned and that, and they all stuck to it apart from one of them, and they were saying, like, they were like other proper soldiers are watching it that are running the program, and they're watching it in another room, and they were saying that the one that wasn't cooperating with the interrogator, he would like the proper soldier was saying to these other people in another room, like, if he's doing that in a real life situation and they've been captured, he's gonna have a bullet in the back of his head because he thinks that he's saving the rest of his group. But they're saying in that sort of sense, you're going to lose your life because you're not cooperating with them and you're not telling them things like your name and what you're doing over in this country. And because I know it doesn't exactly what we were talking about, but it does relate to like the snitching side of it, because this mate is thinking that he's doing the right thing, but the rest of his group have told this story and given their names and everything they've been asked for, and he's not cooperating like they have been. But they're saying that he would have been in a real life situation, he would have been killed for doing that.
So wait a minute. They're training. Obviously, when you're a soldier, you have secrets that you have to keep, right?
Yeah.
You sit on certain information that you don't give up no matter what. But so I guess they're training when you're interrogated. There's information you give up willingly.
To keep you alive, basically, in terms of giving you more time to get rescued and things like that as well.
See, that's smart though, dude. But I see your point. This dude thinks he's thinking old school, like on a low level.
He's being like a gangster, and he's freeing up all his friends and that. But the real soldier that's watching this, that are testing them, is saying to his other colleagues and that, he's saying if this was real life, and this is a real life hostage situation,
he'd be dead.
He's dead.
Fuck, that's crazy. So it's like the reverse. You have to feed them the information that you control the narrative.
Yeah, you got to be clever enough to think on your feet to give away certain information, but not everything. But to keep your life alive, so they can come and find out where you are and rescue you, or potentially rescue you, or they may let you go in the end. But he's saying by them not even giving them things like his name and where he grew up and stuff, they're gonna put a bullet in his head.
Fuck. So that's so weird. Isn't it funny how on a low level, or I shouldn't say a low level, on a street level, you give up nothing. You give up nothing.
If you imagine it, most people in that situation are not going to give it up and think that they're a hero. Next minute, they're dead.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's the difference. Is I guess when you get to that level, it's so dangerous that you literally have to feed them selective information and hope that they don't figure out what it is that you're doing. That's fucking ridiculous.
And not to mention, I didn't even mention this, but this is like they had to do it for 24 hours. So they're putting them in rooms when they're not questioning them, and they're putting headsets on them, bags over their heads, and like crying, screaming babies and shit. And
depriving them of sleep, trying to break them down mentally.
They was putting them in these things called stress positions and that, just to aggravate them to this room. So they're doing all that in this room, like torturing them basically, fucking with them, and then every few hours they bring them back blindfolded and everything, then they whip it off and there's that same person questioning them. But because they're so exhausted and that mentally, I think some of the time they don't even know how to respond either, because they can't think on the spot, because they're so mentally like drained and they haven't slept. And
so then how do you keep that information? I guess they must not know. Because you have to imagine
well, this is why it's on a show, isn't it? Because they can't, like, they have to weed out who's going to break and who ain't. Because the ones that break can't make it as that soldier, because they're not even going to fucking survive a day.
Right. What the fuck? This is fucking crazy. I just thought it was
interesting, because even though it's a little bit different, it still relates to, like, the Snitches.
No, yeah, it definitely, it shows the difference between, like, on a street level, you're taught don't give up anything, but when you're on an international level, you literally have to feed the information that you want them to have. This is like, it's like the Blacklist. It's like the Blacklist with James Spader, dude, where he's like an international. He's like
I haven't watched that, but my mum watched it a few weeks back. She was obsessed with it, and I haven't watched it, but I remember walking through the front room loads, and she's had it on every day for about fucking 2 weeks.
I love him, dude. I love James Spader. He's the fucking man. Even though that show is kind of corny, and there are things that I can't stand about it, like the fact that for some reason everybody whispers, and I don't know why. That's a new thing that people do now, and it drives me goddamn crazy, dude.
An idiot that could be at like a festival next to a massive speaker. You can't hear shit, and he's still whispering.
Yeah.
Like, I can't break character.
Yeah. It's fucking wild, dude. You know, it's completely fucked. The other thing too is, dude, I mean, this snitching is such a problem. I brought my discovery. To my friend's house because everybody thought that I narked them out, dude. Everybody thought that I was gonna get caught and fucking roll over and, well, fuck all of you, because I didn't. Because I couldn't do it, dude. Why am I gonna? I didn't do it as much to protect all of them as I did to be able to live with myself. Because, I mean, I'm sure that's what they want. I could come here and I could lie to you and tell you that I did it to protect my fucking friends, and I would never give them up, and I wouldn't give them up, but I did it. I didn't do it because if I did, I wouldn't be able to live with myself, knowing that I put somebody in a position I didn't want to be in. But I brought them my discovery, dude. Because when you go to court, you get legally they have to give you they give your lawyer all the information that they have, how they got you, what evidence do they have, if they have any witnesses that are going to go up against you, so that your defense can prepare itself. And in there will even state whether or not you ratted. So,
do they tell you, like, because I don't know how this works at all, do they say when they, like, if you're found not guilty, do they tell you that you can't share that information with anyone, though? Like, once, even though you're not guilty, or can you just do what you want with it?
I think if you're not guilty, I think if you're found, I know while the case is going on, no matter what, you can't talk about it. Regardless, whether you're innocent, guilty, it doesn't matter. You can never talk about the case. It honestly depends on what your lawyer tells you you're allowed to do. Like, he told me, even after this shit is done, you can never talk about it. Like, all right, come on, let's not be ridiculous. You can never talk about it, never. I mean, really, I should wait till January 1st, but I mean, what the fuck, dude? It's 3.5 grams of fucking weed. That's what they had. That's what they got. That's
Do you know
what
what I
you
was
got.
going to say as well? Like, even though it's a lot of shit that you had to go through during all that, like, can you imagine how much worse it would have been if it was coke or something, like, deeper than
I
weed?
think about that every day, dude. I think about that every day.
We probably it's very likely that you'd still be in prison.
Yeah. Well, I would have got out not that long ago, just off the terroristic threats alone. I mean, dude.
Do you ever like when you come out, like the first day when it was all over and like you was free again, was there temptations for you to go back to getting involved in all that shit again, or was that like the final thing? Like, when you was released, was that like, I'm never doing that again, or was there certain times where you was close to doing it but you didn't?
Seeing, like, when I was done and I was out of all of it, I was like, I'm never coming to this place again. I made up my mind. I'm never coming back here. I'm never giving them a reason. I even told the COs that on the fucking way out, because they were like, dude, you're a piece. This dude told me straight up, dude. He goes, it was like out of a movie, bro. He goes, you're a piece of shit. You've been breaking the law your entire life, and you've never been caught for nothing. He goes, this, I'm sure, just doesn't even scratch the surface of shit that you've done, and you're probably going to continue to do. We just happen to get you now, but you're on our radar now. You'll be back. They all come back.
Well, I was going to say, they might as well have said to you, like, we'll keep a cell free for you. Like,
basically, that's what he said in so many words. I was like, yeah, we'll see about that, won't we? You will never see my ass in here again. And, you know...
was it so, like, from the day you was released in that and, like, was free from it all, like, was that the day that you was like, that's it? Or has there been times since then where you've been struggling and you'd be like, I just need some money, or do you know what I mean?
Absolutely. Dude, absolutely. There have been a million times since then. I've wanted to go back to it so bad. I wanted to go back to it in the worst way, because I know how to do it. I could get the money back easy. It wouldn't take 2 seconds to do it. But unfortunately, you know, it's fucked up. The Tupac said in a song, you know, it's hard. Life is hard on a young scrub. It seems had less problems when I slung drugs. That's true, dude. When I was selling weed, I never went hungry. I always had money in my pocket. I was not really, like, life was good. It wasn't great, but I didn't struggle for shit. We never went hungry, dude. I had money for anything, and I was not balling out like crazy. I wasn't spending money. I kept myself real low. We only bought what we needed to. But the point is, I never struggled when I was selling weed. And then I go legit, and now I can't make it through a month. I can't make it through a month on the money that I have. I could easily make the money back. The only thing what stops me is I don't want to go back again. I might not get so lucky next time that I could get trapped in the fucking system, and I'm not made for jail, dude. Some people don't give a fuck. Some people don't care. They can handle it. I can't handle it. I don't know what it is about being thrown into a cage with a couple other fucking mutants that you can't, that it just does something. It does something to your mind. You have no privacy. You stand there and there's no door to close. The bars are wide open. People looking at you shit and pee. You gotta deal with other motherfuckers, dude. Like, I was in a cell with a withdrawal and heroin addict and crackhead. That was the fucking worst for like a week when I got arrested for terroristic threats, because the weed was simple. I was in and out because all I had to do was post bail. So I didn't even hit an actual cell. I was out before they had the chance to fucking finish processing me. I mean, really, when I say it like that, it sounds bad. But honestly, I posted the bail for that one early. That was way more easy. The terroristic threats was a different situation, because the night before, tell me how fucked up this is, dude. Check this out. I know I told this before, so long story short, crackhead that lived under my mom's apartment was getting a little extra cracky one day. We were trying to figure out where we were gonna live, because we got kicked out of her mom's house because of getting robbed. And I mean, I had 700 and a quarter in I'm not gonna get into it, but a lot of shit happened. Trying to figure out where we were gonna live. I told this lady to shut the fuck up. She got her crack superpowers up, came running up to the door, pounding on the door, talking about, open this door, I'm gonna kill you, you fucking faggot. Once you come out here, I'll fuck you up, whatever. I go, all right, dude. And she's jiggling the doorknob. She's trying to get in. I go, dude, you open that door. I got every right in the world to defend myself, man. All of a sudden, everything goes quiet. No sound at all. Nothing. I go, maybe she left. I sit back down. I know what that knock is. Anybody that's ever had the cops knock, dude, you know what that is. Look out the door, open it up. There's two cops standing there. They come in. They do the whole thing. This guy's fucking feeling me up. It's ridiculous, right? So,
probably using excessive force, like you're struggling when you're not.
Well, what happened was one of these cops was fucking this woman. That's the truth. I'm not here to. I
remember you saying about it before.
Yeah. So, we'll fast forward through all that bullshit and let's go right to the jail, right? So, I'm on my way, dude. The fucking cop bringing me to the jail has the radio on, and he's since passed away. Rest in peace to fucking, I don't know how to say his last name properly. I think it's Morales, Jason Morales, something like that. He was a good dude. Maybe not to everybody, but that fucking guy saved my life. That man saved my life. He didn't have to do that. So, while people will sit here and scream, fuck the cops, and I get all that. And there are a lot of fucking scumbags.
Well, we said that recently, didn't we? We were saying that the amount of like police brutality, that the few good ones get called the same as the bad ones because they work with them. Do you know what I mean? Which is just unfortunate.
Yeah, no, it's true. So, of course, on my luck would have it. Looking Through the Glass by Stone Sour was on the fucking radio while I was on my way to the jail, dude. Ain't that a bitch? But so I get to the county, dude, and I go, so all right, am I gonna be able to get bail? Like, I've seen movies. I know I get a phone call, and I gotta put up 10%, and they go, see, the thing is, there was a guy that got arrested last night. He said he was gonna kill somebody. They arrested him. He put up the 10%. They let him out, and then he went and killed who he said he was gonna kill. Now here I come the day after for the same charges, and they got, sorry, buddy, no 10%. You're stuck here until we figure out what's going on with you. And by the way, terroristic threats carries a sentence of 5 to 7 years in prison. 5 to 7 years, dude. So,
that probably get like increased in the coming years, I reckon, as well.
Oh, I'm sure it would, dude. I was morning, noon, and night. I was throwing up every second, dude. I thought I was dead. I thought I was dead. There was no way I'm gonna make it in prison. And I really didn't do this, dude. Like, I really did not tell this bitch I was gonna stab her and throw her down the stairs. I never said that. I never even opened my fucking door. And it's her word against mine, and she's gonna win because she's got a vagina and she's fucking the cops. That's what this is. So, you know, I'm in the jail, dude, and I'm a mess. These guys are alternating, all three of us are alternating, throwing the fuck up because they're going through drug withdrawals. Like, it's a fucking, and I got an issue with vomit as it is. So every time they get sick, I get sick. Like, it's a horror show. It was the worst.
There's a Family Guy episode where they're in the front room, and I think it's like
that's exactly how it was. That's exactly how it was.
One throws up, then the other one throws up, and then
yeah,
they're all doing it. Like.
That's exactly how it was, dude. It was a horror show. It was terrible, fucking terrible. Oh my god! And they got cameras. They got cameras in all the cells, so the judge can actually sit and watch what you're doing.
Yeah.
How they figure out people that go to jail a lot, apparently all they do is sleep. I've never seen anything like it, dude. All these people do is sleep all day. It's crazy. How do you sleep when you're in this cage, dude? And how do you do? Some people just don't care. It's not exactly
quiet either, is it? Like, what the fuck?
No, people are dude. I swear to God, bro, there was 9 fucking people jammed in one of those cells, dude. There was 2 beds. There was 9 motherfuckers in there. These people were standing on top of each other, for fuck's sake, dude. I mean, I was in a medical wing. I wasn't in general population, which arguably is, some people say that the medical wing is even worse than Gen Pop, because at least in Gen Pop you can walk around a little bit. You got TVs and shit. In medical, we didn't have none of that, dude. Everybody was a mess, and who knows who the fuck's got what. But, you know, throwing up all the time and shit was a mess, dude. I actually had to I met with a public defender because I didn't even have a lawyer. I was so far up Schitt's Creek. This dude, I'll never forget this. They're like, bro, you gotta go meet with your lawyer now. I go, I don't have one. They're like, oh, well, they're one got appointed to you. It's public defender. The guy comes to the table, right? And now I'm like, dude, my life, all I can think about is that my life is over. My life is over, and this is it. This is it. I'm never gonna get out of here. I'm gonna die in this fucking place, dude. I'm gonna die in prison because somebody's gonna try to rape me, and I'm gonna die. I'd rather kill myself than be raped all day, every day. I'm not doing it. I'll hang myself. I'll do something. I'll figure it out. While I'm thinking about all this fucking public defender douchebag is sitting across from me, completely disinterested, couldn't give less of a fuck. He's like, look, I need you to sign these papers. By the way, I don't save it. I don't care. Everybody's innocent in here. Yeah, I'm sure you didn't do a goddamn thing. Yep. Just sign the papers, not just saying that basically I met with you today. You're looking at 5 to 7 years in prison, and you're probably going to do all 7. So there is that. I mean, if I was you, I would try to put together the money for a lawyer, but if you can't, you can't. You'll just have to accept the charges, and that'll be what it is. And now he walks away, and I'm a fucking mess, dude. Like, I didn't know what to do with myself. I really thought it was over. So then when the judge calls everybody, and now we all go into a room. Now she's on the television, and she's talking to us the way that we're talking right now. There's a little camera on top of the TV that's about this big, and then she can look at everybody. So now we're all sitting here, and she's going around the room, and she says, you know, whatever the person's name is, and then the charges to follow that person. Here we go. Unpaid child support, unlawful possession of a firearm. They're going, this person shoplifted. It was like a movie where they say my name, and then it goes, terroristic threats. Every motherfucker in the room did one of those, dude, where they look around, they go, what? What the fuck? You? Get the fuck out of here. And, the judge is like, I got, dude, there's so many fucking breaks that I got. And I don't think it had anything to do with my skin color as much as it did, the fact that I think people can tell if you're, if you've really done some shit or not. But the judge was like, dude, I don't know what the fuck this is all about. But she goes, I mean, honestly, I've been watching you, and I don't think you don't come off as the type of person that fits these charges. So I'm going to knock it down from Superior Court, and I'm going to let the local municipality handle it. So the charges are going to be dropped from terroristic threats to disorderly conduct. She was like, I will be contacting the judge, the local municipality. You need to go for a mental evaluation. You need to be put on medication. You need to do this, this, and this. And if I find out that you didn't do any of it, or you skip your court date, I will personally sign the warrant and lock your ass up for all 7 years. It's like, I will do it. Don't fuck around, basically. So then it didn't end there. Then at the municipality, dude, the judge in Oceangate wanted to send me up Schitt's Creek without a paddle. The fucking this lady that was so scared to death for her fucking life, didn't even show up to the court date, dude. She didn't even show up. She's so goddamn scared. She's flipping me off. She's flipping me off in the court, man. In front of the judge, in front of her lawyers. Nobody sees this shit. She's flipping me off. How scared are you that you're giving me the fucking bird in the middle of court, you fucking drug addict, cunt, whore, bitch, man? What the fuck? Ooh. Whoa. Damn.
Do you know all that just a minute ago when you was going through it? I was like, this is literally like a nightmare that you're not asleep for.
Dude, I thought my life was over, dude. I had such bad. I didn't leave the house. For like a year.
Do you think that some of the medication and that you're on is due to some of that shit, that just remembering all that, and just even when you're free, you're like, it's hard to not think about all that shit, isn't it? Do you think that that's partly why you're on some of the stuff you're on?
Well, I've gotten off of all the anxiety medicine. I was taking Xanax is really bad. Xanax is really bad for me. I lost time. After I would take the Xanax, dude, I don't remember anything. Dude. People have told me
being like drunk and then you wake up, you can't remember nothing. Like,
yeah, but like people have told me that I've done shit and said things. I don't remember like at all. It's fucking scary. So I had to get off of that. But I mean, I was on Valiums, I was on Klonopin. It was so bad. I didn't leave the house. I was petrified of everybody, especially the cops, dude. And where I used to live, there was detectives on our house 24 hours a day. So while all this is going on, we're still under constant surveillance. I had a mental breakdown over all of this, dude. Like I didn't leave that. I wouldn't tell my friends where the fuck when we moved for years. I wouldn't tell anybody where we lived. I still won't now. Like I still have a lot of shit that is on from all of this. But
that's crazy, isn't it though? Because you're free, but you're not free.
Yeah, no, it's always gonna be. I know how broke the system is, dude. I watched a guy get robbed for his child support money by the cops. I watched it in real time.
Disgusting.
He goes to the courthouse, and this is a rookie mistake, but I would have been guilty of doing it too. He owed $1,400 in child support. He made the mistake of going and paying it himself when they had a warrant out for his arrest. Now, this is scumbag shit. Rather than take the money and put the kid up to date with his child support, the person who ran that branch called the cops and told the cops that he was in the building, so they served him the fucking warrant They bring him down to the jail while I'm sitting and waiting to get processed. This dude's he's begging like, dude, if you send me away, I'm gonna lose my job. I just got the money together for my kid. Like, come on, man, I'm trying to do the fucking right thing here. He's like, this is all the fucking money that I have. You can't do this to me. And the one cop looks at the other cop and goes, money? You see him come in here with any money? He goes in the dude's pocket. He pulls out the $1,400. Cop puts in his back pocket. The other cop goes, I didn't see him come in with any money. They're like, no, man, come on, dude, don't do this. That's it. Done. Who's going to believe you? Nobody. I've seen firsthand how the system can fuck you, dude. Over a lie that somebody made up. I almost went to prison for 8 years of my life. For a lie with no evidence to back it up at all whatsoever. A fucking phone call. That's all they had. He said he was going to throw me down the stairs. 8 years for that. I almost did, dude. Fuck my life. It's on my permanent record. Forever. Forever. It's on my record, dude. So I've seen firsthand how quickly you could be thrown away. And I know this is a far cry away from, snitching and shit. But the point is that the system is broken, dude. And, you have to be careful. I'm not here to tell anybody how to live their life, but I know a 9 to 5 sucks, but it's better than risking your fucking freedom, because once you're in the system, dude, that's it. There's nothing that you can do. Nobody gives a fuck about you. The way the society looks at it is, well, you fucked up and now you got to pay the piper, and we don't care how long. It's been 14 years that my name is not on this apartment. I couldn't rent somewhere if I wanted to. That's just what it is. For it's not worth your life. I know people glorifying selling drugs and all this shit in rap music, especially. There's nothing cool, dude, about handing somebody some shit they're killing themselves with. That's legitimate. There's not. There just isn't.
Your initial circle you was on about earlier, that like when you first got caught in that. I don't know if you know. I think you said one of them, like you saw them on Facebook and that. Like, I was just wondering, did they all turn it around, like, or are they still? Did they go back to all that? And
two of the people I only know for a fact. Well, one of them was a drug dealer kid. I don't know what the fuck happened to him. He was one of the people that narked me out because I was selling weed in his neighborhood. Fucking fairy. The other kid is, I'm pretty sure he does tattoos now. So he's an artist and he's working tattoos and he's got a couple of kids and he's doing well. And then the other chick that narked me out, the last time I saw her, she was doing well. She had her son. She actually had stopped doing all the shit altogether. What was I gonna say? Actually, I wound up running into her at somebody's house that I know, and I was like, dude, that girl's a narc, bro. She's gonna you gotta be careful. She's gonna rat all of you out. And they're like, dude, we hang out with this chick all the time. She's fine. Don't worry about it. I'm like, well, fuck that. I'm not where she's at. I'm not. I'm fucking out of here, right? So then, of course, fast forward, and I'm at this person's child's birthday party. And who do I see? But this girl is outside with the kid, and I'm trying to avoid her, dude. But she calls me over, and she's like, "Look, I know if you don't want to hear anything that I have to say, I get it, but I mean, just give me a chance to say what I gotta say, and you don't after that. If you don't want to." Basically, if you don't want to be a part of the conversation, I get it. But she goes, dude, like, I want you to know that, I feel bad that I fucked you over. I see now that you were trying to do the right thing, but not because I wouldn't sell it to her when she was fucking pregnant. There's just some things you don't do in life. And I'm looking at this little kid that's running around in the fucking park, dude. She's like, this is my son, whatever his fucking name is. And she's like, since all that happened, it forced me to really look at my life and see what I was doing, because before you said that, nobody in my life really basically gave enough of a shit to fucking try to like really straighten me out. Like it took that for her to realize that she was basically like, you know, I left the dude that I was with was abusive and the whole fucking thing, dude. She's like, I completely turned my life around completely. And if it wasn't for that, like I'm sorry that you had to go through what you went through, but I want you to know that it wasn't for nothing. It
That
wasn't
must
for
have
nothing.
felt good though. I know it's probably awkward at the time, but they must, like, if that was me in your position, I'd have been like it's just good to see that kid's. Do you know what I mean? At that time, that kid wasn't even a fully formed human yet, and now that kid's out. Like, there's everything's fine with the kid. They're happy. She's doing better, even though you might have a little bit of resentment for her, like getting you in shit. Like, she's
I mean, not.
apologized.
I even when she said that, dude, I told her right then and there, like on the spot, like, dude, if that's what it took, then it was worth it.
Yeah.
Then it was, if it took me to go through this, and I took something out of it too, which is that, you know, I'm not a drug dealer guy. Like, that's not.
The reality of it is that she would have either probably been dead if you'd have like give it to her, like maybe not dead, but she might have gone on to stronger stuff while she's still pregnant, or the kid's born and it's taken away from her. She's either in prison or the kid's in like child services, and it's a whole different life.
Yeah.
Than what happened because you didn't give it to her.
Yeah, so it was worth it. Even though she went back and she told the guy she was dating, who turned out to be an informant for the cops, and that's what originally started the whole thing. And then it led to the controlled buy and all that shit. It helped her to turn her life around. I managed to change the lives of at least 2 people it took me to destroy my life to rebuild the lives of 2 other people, but at least that came out of it, and it wasn't for nothing. It's not like I destroyed my life and nothing came out of it. If that's what it took, at least there are fucking children in the world now that have a parent.
And I don't know if you believe in like law of attraction and fate and all that, but I think that happened for a reason, because you could have come out like you did and never have seen that woman again and wondered where she was and if she's dead or not, and if
I think so
like
too.
Alive,
what are the
do you know what I mean?
What are the fucking odds? What are the fucking odds that of all the places I would happen to be, she would be there? And
not just the one time, like you bump into her a couple of times, like
yeah. And the fucked up part is I haven't seen her since. Dude. It's so crazy. She just disappeared off the face of the planet. I mean, for all we know, she could have went back and whatever. But in my mind, I would like to believe that, you know, everything is good now. And even if it isn't, at least I gave her an opportunity that she didn't have. And I didn't even realize I was doing it. So, you know, maybe the whole point to all of this is, even if you're going through your horrible situation could wind up helping somebody else's life down the road. You might not even see it connect, but it might. So, you know, there's always something that you can take that's good out of a bad situation. It's very difficult to see it sometimes, but it can be done. And I'm not telling you, like, look, dude, if I would love to have my life back, but is it worth me being able to sign a lease and then taking away parents from children, or giving somebody the vision to be able to see what they need to do to change their life? I don't want to ever go back to that, and I wouldn't want to relive it again, but I couldn't take that away from them. Who the fuck am I to take that away from them? If it took me to do this, then it was worth it. And I really do.
Even if you had the chance to go back, like you may have made better decisions, but you can't for 100% say that you wouldn't have done the same thing again. Do you know what I mean? So you
Yeah,
can regret like missing and going back or whatever, but it's not. You can't fully say that if you did go back that like it wouldn't fuck up. So what I'm saying is, there's a chance that you could have made better decisions if you got to go back, but you might not have. You might have had to go through all that shit again.
or I could have even did worse, dude. What could have stopped me from moving up? What if I never got? I think about this all the time. What if I never got caught with the weed and I decided to get brave and move up to coke or something like that? Then now instead of getting like a slap on the wrist, dude, I'm doing fucking hard time.
It's either homelessness, death, or prison.
That's it. That's it. There's nothing else in between. Like, dude, I understand the allure of the money, dude. It's the drugs sell themselves. All you have to do is be there to assist it in happening. It's not worth it. You want to know what's fucked up, dude? Every dime I had to my name from the drugs, from the weed, went on court fees, lawyers, down to the fucking penny. Every dime I made went on all that shit, dude. So it's almost like karma got me, man. Like, oh, cool. You got like $2,000 sitting around, whatever. 1,500 to the state that gets divided up in DARE programs and Mothers Against Drunk Driving and all that shit. The lawyer is gonna cost you $750, whatever the fuck it is. Every time, dude, went right back into my. And I'm not the only one that this happened to. I've heard other people say this, that somehow all the profit they made wound up going directly into their defense, and by the time it's all said and done, they're right back to square one again. I don't know if that's the universe's way of being like, this is not the move. This is not the way that you make your life, man. This is not
I know
it.
you got like you're pissed off for losing the money, but I think it's like, yes, it goes to other people and that, but it's there to kind of potentially help you, innit? So you might go back to square one, but that money could have easily gone to crack or cocaine or something, and you'd be in, like you said, in a whole different fucking mess. So even though you've lost money in a way, it's kind of like you've self-invested it to potentially not go to prison. Do you know what I mean? And turn it around. So
well, the fucked up part is the fine that they gave me was basically they just charged me the amount of money they would have charged, because you gotta pay when you go to jail. I don't know if you know that, but for the people that are unaware, back in the day, you know, this is a few years ago, when I went, it was $25 a day. Sitting in jail is not free, and you gotta pay that when you get out.
that's
You gotta
fucking
pay.
crazy to me. That's like, what?
It was $50. It was $50 for them to take my mugshot and my fingerprints, and then it was for a processing fee, and then it was $25 a day to sit in the fucking prison, or the jail rather, and be fed rotten food with junkies, and the place isn't clean, and the toilets are filthy, and there's no what. You gotta pay for that.
Is there anything from the food that you can't go near now, like that you can get from a shop? Like,
I don't know. I didn't touch it. I broke the rule. I didn't know you weren't supposed to do this. I had no idea. They brought the food in. It was rotten hospital food, because the hospital wasn't far from the jail.
Yeah.
It was rotten hospital food that they gave us, dude. I took one look at that shit. Oh, I am not eating that. And the guy handed me the tray, goes, dude, you don't have to eat it, but you have to take it. Like, they're gonna, by law, I guess, they are required to give you food to keep you alive. It doesn't have to be good. It can literally be molded as it was, but they have to give you something. I was like, dude, either of you guys want this? I didn't know you're not supposed to do that. Like, by me giving them my food, I'm volunteering to be their bitch. I had no idea. The way I figured it was, well, I'm not going to eat it, and you guys are pretty fucked up in here, so you can benefit from it. I didn't realize that is like the absolute worst thing for you to do. And like I thought I was going to be raped and shit. I mean, county is bad. A lot of people say the county is worse than the prison itself because people don't know where they're going to end up, how much time they're going away for. I mean, it's a horror show. I didn't know you weren't supposed to give up your food, dude. You know, terrible. Luckily, I didn't become anybody's bitch. The one guy I was in the jail with tried to get cute with me one time, and because I was up, I was taking a piss, and I caught him staring at my dick, and I was like, "Hey, do you fucking mind?" And he was like, "No, I don't actually. I don't mind the view." And I was like, "Bro, come on." Like I don't have a problem with gay people. I'm a little prejudiced, not gonna lie to nobody, but you know, it just
that's what you just described though. It's like a fucking horror film.
yeah, he had a smile on his face when he said it too. I don't mind the view. Yeah, well, it ain't for you. This view ain't for you to see, all right? You fucking ugh. Like, look, dude, if you're full-blown gay, I can appreciate that. If you're into men and that's your thing, okay. But this dude is just being a creep to be a creep. That disgusts me. I don't know why. It just makes it worse somehow. Ugh. Like, dude, I had a dude hit on me before. I didn't. The first time it happened. Do you ever been hit on by a man?
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I feel like I might have, like, maybe when I used to go out, like, with, like, work and that, like, just randomly, like, I remember I went to a club once with my brother, and it was literally, like, I don't think there was any women in there. It wasn't a gay bar, but it felt like it that night, because we were like, on the dance floor, and we looked around, and my brother was like, "Have you noticed that, like, there's no women in it?" So I was like, "Yeah, this is a bit creepy." Like, I don't think anything happened, but... yeah, like,
dude,
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I would be like you. I get offended by it.
My perspective has completely changed. I would approach women different. Not that I have a reason to, but now I would approach women completely different because of how it happened to me. I've gotten hit on twice by men that have. Oh, it's creepy, dude. To be on the other end and see a guy working, it's fucking creepy, dude. Like this
that guy
dude,
a minute ago you was on about, you might as well have took a fucking picture of you, like.
oh yeah, that shit. I had my hands over my dick, like, dude, I'm not. I know it doesn't matter, but it's just the point. Like, if you try anything, I told the guy he was bigger than me, and he was a heroin head, so he didn't have anything to lose. But I'm like, you try anything, I'll fuck you up. I'm telling you right now, dude. I may not win, but I promise you, you're gonna have a hard time trying to take me down. Not that but hit on by a dude. I'll never forget this shit, dude. The guy, I'm standing outside the Freehold Raceway Mall, and this fucking dude, I don't know, he's standing there smoking a cigarette. We're talking, and he's got this way about him. The way that he's talking to me, just something don't seem right. Right? So he's like, I wish I could remember exactly. He said something that made my antennas go up, and I was like, all right, wait a minute. We're not in Kansas anymore. Something's going on here.
Oh, have you been working out? Like,
yeah,
well, let's get out of here.
It was something to that effect. It was something. He said something that made me go like, uh-oh. And as soon as he said it, I was like, hold on, dude. I'm not, like, I'm flattered, but that's not for me. And he went to go run away real quick. Like, I watched him change from being confident to now there's fear. Like, legitimate fear. He's scared now, and he's going to run off. I'm like, well, where are you going? He's like, what do you mean? Like, I just hit on you, and you rejected me, so now you're gonna punch me in the face. Like, he literally thought I was going to a like, no, come on, man. I'm not gonna, as long as you don't try anything.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna hurt you.
It's
Like,
awkward,
you know,
isn't it? Because you feel like you don't want to offend them, but you feel offended.
right. Well, I was like, I mean, I guess it must be a compliment, or like, I guess that's the highest compliment you can have is to be hit on by a man. It feels weird, but I was talking to him about that, and he was like, "Well, dude, usually after I hit on somebody, if they're not gay, normally the next thing that comes is an assault. So like, this is like a regular thing that dudes have to deal with, and I mean, I'm sure women deal with it too. But I felt bad about that.
It's a different case though, isn't it? Because it's one thing someone having conversation with you already feel uncomfortable, but if you turn away or something and then they start touching you, then it's a problem.
Well, yeah, for sure. I mean, there was one. I was in Florida, and this is fairly recently, last year or the year before. I was out at the bar with a couple of people that I know, and I was drinking Grey Goose and vodka and cranberry. That was my go-to shit. Just because you get banged up real quick, and it's not. You can nurse it throughout the night, and you can still get fucked up. I know it's a pussy drink, but fuck you, I like it, whatever. Right? Like, I don't drink anymore, but so I'm at the bar, and the dude comes up next to me, and he goes, "This guy was blatant," so I picked up on it right away. He goes, "Hey, let me buy you a drink." And I go, no.
Hey, you're like, oh.
Yeah. As soon as I looked over, I went, danger, get out of here, quick! You gotta run the other way, dude. I go, no. That's I appreciate it, but I don't, not interested. And he goes, oh, come on. Now he's chasing me around the bar. Come here, I just want to talk to you. I just want to. No, you don't. You want to fucking stick it in my pooper, dude. I know exactly what you're trying to do. Leave me alone. Like, I'm all for everybody. Let your freak flag fly, dude. I just don't. I will be your wingman. I'll go with you. If you want to hit on some other dude, I can pick you up and I'll promote you to this guy. Be like, oh, this guy is great. You wanna fuck with this dude. He's the shit. This is the guy you want to bang. You can roll over and talk football. Whatever it is. Like, this is the dude. I'll pick you up all day, but it is scary being on the other end of that, dude, because men are persistent. This guy chased me around the goddamn bar, fucking me all up, man. Like, like, why? Maybe it's because they see me and if they see I move slow, they think they can take me down like a gazelle, dude. Just fucking taking me down in the wild.
I think it is as well, because I get it a lot. Not that sort of thing, but like in the past, just people being dicks and that. I think it's because of the size as well, isn't it? Like, if they're bigger than you, people just think they can do whatever.
Yeah, well, especially when you are smaller. Yeah, 100%. They think they can take advantage of you and talk to you a certain way and do whatever, and you're not gonna, like, well, you got me fucked up, dude. I don't have to win. Just give me one shot. That's all I need. As long as I know I connect with your head one good time, I'm happy.
The thing that I don't like as well, I'm not saying they all do this, but you'll get something like that happen, and then they'll tell their friends or whatever who are also gay, and they'll be like, oh, this guy is homophobic, he hates people like us. And you're like, well, wait a minute, did you tell them about the part where you touched my ass without you telling me?
Yeah, exactly. Or you trying to grab my dick? Like, whoa, dude, I wouldn't do. Like, I don't appreciate that. That's too far. I would never.
Because now you've got that label of you hate gay people when he's like violated your space without you consenting to it, but he's told everyone that you've got a problem with people like him, but he hasn't told the full story.
That shit burns me, dude. I hate those people more than anybody, because now you're creating a false thing, and not only that, but now you're gonna have people scared for no reason, thinking that I'm looking to bash somebody because of what the fuck they're into. Absolutely not. I would never do that. I'm slightly prejudiced in the sense that Jen's have a fucking whatever the bisexual thing, whatever she's got going on. She's not. She don't know what the fuck the deal is. But I'm weird about that. Like if she were to try to, get with another woman, that shit. I don't know, man. I'm old school Catholic. I think that's what that's from. Being raised like that, where that shit just bothers me on a whole different level. I don't get it, but I can get my dick sucked, and that's cool. I don't understand. I don't understand what that's about. I mean, that's very selfish of me.
I just think
have
there's a
to
big
admit.
problem with like that. Like whether I'd say lesbians do it as well. Like it's not the fact that people that aren't a lesbian or just like straight people. It's not the fact that we might feel uncomfortable around it, but it's not like we look at you as like a monster. But when you
Right.
start forcefully trying to push that onto people that aren't the same as you, then there's a problem.
Right. Like I'm not gonna lie. There's a lesbian couple that lives underneath me. When they kiss and shit, I'm like, oh fuck, I forget y'all do that.
Yeah.
It blows my mind. So it's not that I'm kind of grossed out by it a little bit, but that's okay. I'm supposed to
Yeah.
be. Just like they are grossed out by us. They think it's the most disgusting thing in the world. Like, ew, how could you possibly like dick? You know what I mean? Like, they don't get it. But we're supposed to be grossed out by each other. It doesn't mean that we hate each other. But that's the other thing too, is, that's another thing that really bothers me, dude. Why is it that every fucking broad that eats pussy seems to think that all of a sudden they're the shit because they got a vagina? All of a sudden that magically teaches you how to lick a box the right way? I mean, I don't think that could be true at all. I've heard it though. There have been bitches in this apartment complex that have been like, yeah, you haven't fucked a woman, and that's the only reason why you're still fucking a man. Give me 5 minutes and you will never go back to like saying this shit while I'm like, no disrespect. How could you fucking say some shit like that? If the roles reversed and I was talking some shit like that to your fucking person, dude, you would be swollen about it. But it's okay because you're a woman talking to a woman about a man. That makes it all right. This double standard shit, I don't like that. But I mean, whatever. Some people are gonna be cocky. It is what it is. But I guarantee you're not gonna fucking. You could be as good as you think you are, but just because you got a vagina don't make you any better than me. Equal rights, motherfuckers. Come on, stop it. I mean, everything is. I don't get it, dude. The point of the moral of the fucking story is don't rat on other people, right? If you're gonna go to the goddamn supermarket, keep your fucking shit together. And just because you're gay doesn't mean that you're a superhero at sucking a dick or eating some pussy. You're regular, just like the rest of us. I mean, I've not talked to that many. I mean, I gotta wonder. It can't be just because you're gay doesn't automatically mean you're the best. I'm sure there are still gay dudes out there that don't know how to hide their teeth, right? I'm sure it happens. I'm
Do
not.
you know what it is though? It's similar to like religion. I think like everything is, if you're not the same as that person, you're an enemy because they've chose to see you as an enemy, even if you're not really doing anything to warrant that response from them, because you're not doing what they want you to do and matching what their beliefs in that are.
Well, not only that, but I
It's just
think
crazy.
it's also drilled into our minds how different we are. Like, I know this is gonna sound so ignorant, and I've probably mentioned it before, but there's on a couple that I was talking about earlier, I was talking to one of them, and through having a regular conversation, I realized how much we have in common, despite the fact that we couldn't be more different. I'm white, you're black, you're a lesbian, I'm a straight guy. We have really nothing in common other than our interest in women, but we have a lot more in common than I thought, and we're taught by society in general how different we are. But if we really sat down and got to know each other, I think we would have far more in common. And I think that would lift a lot of the, I don't know what the word is.
Stigma?
Yeah, there's a lot of stigma that's attached to, all of us, whether you're straight or you're gay, like people that are in those communities hear about people in the other community and they think they know everything that goes on. But if we really talk to each other, we would find that we have a lot more in common than we think. And I think that would make it I think people would be more accepting of
I
other
think
people.
like people seem to think you're not human, innit? If you're like straight, but then there's a gay person, it's
Right.
like one of you is alien to the other.
Yeah, exactly. When
Because
really,
of, like you were saying, because of what we've been taught. But at the end of the day, we're actually all human beings. But like how we're taught and stuff, it's like I was saying, you're the enemy, and you're not human like me because we don't share the same things.
right, like what they don't realize is what people don't realize is just because we live our lives in two completely separate venues, the hunt, for lack of a better word, is still the same. Yeah. Right? We still gotta both approach a woman, try to figure it out. How do we go about doing this without coming off like some kind of a monster, dude? And we could share that, but instead we look at it like we're too different. Like, oh, because this is weird. I don't like it. It sucks that we spend so much time dividing ourselves when we could have more in common than we realize, but we'll get there eventually. I mean, fucked up, dude. It really is.
I'm exhausted.
Me too. Me too. And we didn't even really cover anything either. Just.
Well, we covered. I feel like part of today was like an audio book of your life, like a chunk of your life, which
I know.
wasn't
I feel
intentional,
bad,
but it tied in. No, I'm just saying, like we didn't plan for that, and that just kind of, because part of that of what you went through, it tied into what we were going to cover anyway.
That's true. I mean, that is true. I mean, it's like, dude, look, I talk too much on these goddamn things.
And to be honest, I thought we was gonna maybe get a little bit heated with each other because I knew that you felt a certain way about the snitching and I felt a different way a little bit about it, just in terms of, like I said, I think it depends on the circumstances, but
right, like I do want to get in
more because of it.
I do want to get into that a little bit. So you think, before we end it though, you think you don't see the point behind the loyalty of not ratting somebody out, right?
Well, look at it this way: if you killed someone,
right,
and they thought it was me, and I've got 4 kids, and I got to do life, and I've got 4 kids, and now I've got to do life for something I didn't do, but I can say, oh yeah, I've got his respect, but then what is it worth it? Because you don't get to see your kids anymore. And
all right, but let's put it
the circumstances as well, because certain people don't give a fuck and they're happily take the life sentence for someone because they ain't got anything going on. Do you know what I mean? But if you've got to throw your life away, your job, your kids, for someone that's guilty because they can say, yeah, he was loyal, I just don't think I wouldn't be able to live with it. Like some people can't live with the fact of being called a snitch. For me, I'd be laughing because I'm like, yeah, but I've got my life still.
True, like the Takashi kid.
Now, you might have to live your life in fear now because you think these people are going to get you back for doing that. But at the end of the day, like I said, if you're in hospital or you go and do a life sentence and you get killed in prison, I guarantee you, them people that you went away for probably aren't, 9 times out of 10, they're not showing up to your hospital bed or your funeral.
No.
Even if you don't snitch on them.
Yeah, no, they don't. Most of the time, that's when you find out who your real friends are, dude. When shit hits the fan, you watch how people scatter away from you, and then nobody talks to you anymore because you got a case on you. And you'll find out.
Sorry, go on.
One of my friends was the only one that was he went to court with me. Now I know secretly the only reason why he went is because he wanted to make sure I didn't rat. I know it. He knows. Like it's unspoken. If I brought it up, he would deny it and he would be upset with me that I even said that. But in my heart, I know part of the reason why he showed up was to see if I fucking ratted or not. Either way, though, he was there and that counts for something. That at least, but that was the only one person that was there. Everybody else wrote me off, dude.
I was just gonna say, I think I get it if you say you grow up in an environment where you hate the police and that, and you just don't care, then I understand it more because you don't mind doing all that. Like you see the police and that as your enemy, so you're willing to do life because you'll just think that they're gonna set you up anyway. But that's why I say circumstances, because if you've got a family and stuff and you're innocent as well, and because you're associated with them people of the person that's guilty, you might have grown up with them and you've got this unwritten rule and stuff. And I just don't agree with it because you've thrown away your life now. Your kids have lost out on a parent. Do you know what I mean? All because you didn't rat on someone that is guilty because you've got this unwritten rule and pride about it. But what good is the pride when you've missed out on your kid's life? And
I see the point that you're making. I mean, check this out.
I'm gonna tell you something about a motherfucking snitch, though.
Telling niggas.
See, these niggas don't understand. See, a nigga that's been snitching, he been snitching for a reason. No, he been snitching because the simple fact is he been telling on people since he was in kindergarten. So he grew up with that shit in him. He ain't got no choice of telling the motherfucker, teacher, no. You know what I'm saying? As he get older, his concept of telling the motherfucker is rightly in his heart. So he don't give a fuck about telling the FBI or a nigga who got 400 keys, 700 tons, or a nigga got more money than every go jail. Because he feels it's the right thing to do. And then the average motherfucker walking down the block ain't gonna do that to a snitch any motherfucking way. That's the process.
I've never heard it put like that before. That, this person has just been ratting on people since elementary school. Teacher, look. But see, that's the difference, though. There's a difference between, I think, I didn't do shit and you want me to take the rap for something I didn't do, and there's a guy out in the street selling drugs or whatever, and people go out of their way to call the cops on him. I understand that drugs are a filthy business and you don't want to watch people destroy but I know it's so you can't defend it because it's a terrible thing, and at the same time, I don't think it's right to volunteer the information. I don't think anybody really wants. Some people do. I shouldn't say that. Most people, if given the opportunity to make good money and be able to have a real life, wouldn't volunteer themselves to sell drugs, I don't think. The good rappers that I listen to talk about the double-edged sword between, sure, when they were involved in their life, it was all about promoting and everything else, but the reality is they didn't take pride in having to sell drugs to make money, to destroy lives, but they weren't willing to work a 9-to-5 and not be able to get by either. Their logic is, if I could sell this coke long enough to not get caught, I can not need a 9-to-5 right away.
But do you know what the problem is? You're killing people.
They're going to die anyway, though.
Yeah, but
if they don't buy it from me, they're going to buy it from someone else.
Yeah, but but do you know what I mean? I just feel like you're, not you personally.
Yeah.
Like they're saying, oh, I don't want to do a 9-to-5 or even a part-time job because I want to have enough money to live how I want to live. But I happily go and give this to a parent or something that's going to have it. Then their kids might get on it and overdose as well.
It's so difficult, dude. That's why I wouldn't sell. That's why I wouldn't sell beyond weed. I can at least justify that to myself. Doesn't make it right. I don't like it. Of course, the problem is it's a controlled substance. You can't stop somebody from getting behind the wheel and driving. At the same time, the government, it's a double-edged sword because these drugs got here somehow. We're not sneaking them over customs, right? So people have to know what's going on. Why is it okay for the government now just legalize weed so they can sell those same drugs that somebody get behind the wheel of a car and drive? You can't stop it. It's okay for you to do it and make money, but you put me away and ruin my life for 14 years over the same drug. This double standard is no good. I mean, but this is a whole complicated thing, though. It really is. I mean, we'd have to find. I know we got to wrap this up because we're going on 3 hours anyway. We're both probably hungry and fucking exhausted. This is a tough one, which, I mean, I didn't mean to make this a whole autobiography of my life, but these are important situations that I know from looking at me, you would never think that I could probably be somebody that would fall into a situation where you almost do 8 years in prison over a lie somebody made up, but it can happen.
I don't know. I might feel different as well if I hadn't had kids as well. My opinion on it might be different as well, but I think that plays a big factor in it for me, is that I wouldn't be willing to do that for someone, even if they were like my best mate, because they might not have kids or nothing. Do you know what I mean?
Well,
and
see,
now I've
that's
got to throw my life away to be loyal to you, and you're not going to be there. It's not like you're going to be there and take over my family and support my kids and everything while I'm locked up.
But see, that was what was supposed to happen. That's why people would join the mob or they would join a gang. Because if you're going to do that criminal mischief anyway, at least if you're in the mafia, people will take care of my family while I'm away. They're
But
supposed
the problem
to.
is, they've still got that narrative of being loyal and not snitching, but they haven't got the morals to back it up to look after your family when you get locked away. So what are you not snitching for?
See, there's a song you should listen to if you haven't heard it already. It's called The Life by Shine.
Right, send me it as well, because I'll forget. So I need you to actually send me a link so I've got it there to do it.
Because this one should be interesting because he's talking about how selling drugs, basically everything that we're saying. I'm not even going to ruin it for you, but yeah. So like, look, dude, I understand where you're coming from though, because it was easy. It's different for me just because I didn't take the rap for somebody else as much as I did not.
And also, you got to think, you might have made a different decision if you was in my position and had kids and stuff at the time as well. Even though you ain't got kids now, but if you had kids at the time when it happened, you might have made a different decision as well. So
absolutely, I'm sure that I would have. I'm not gonna sit here and say that I wouldn't, or that I'm like some holier than thou figure because I got caught with a little bit of weed and fucking didn't narc on anybody. But that's just because it's different. I wasn't taking the fall. It depends on how you look at it. Some people will say, well, the person, in a way you are, in a way you're not. I put myself in that position. I wouldn't put myself in a position though where I could take the fall and do life for somebody else's murder. I wouldn't intentionally put myself in that position, but I understand how people get there. You're broke, you think these people are your friends, and then you find out too late that they're not. Now, that's how they got Sammy the Bull to flip. I guess we can end it here, which is that they played a tape of Gotti saying that they were going to leave Sammy holding the bag, where he was going to go down for everybody else's crimes, while they all sat around and got fat, and he was like, fuck that, I'm not doing it. So, I mean, I understand both sides. I just hope that one day I'm going to try to model my life where I don't have to be put in a position where I have to choose.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck.
This has been a messy one today, isn't it?
It has. And you got to talk more. I talk way too much. These goddamn shows.
I don't want to butt in. We'd never spoke about that before. So, and do you know what I mean? I didn't know how much you'd want to tell and stuff. So I was just letting you go with it.
I know, I do. I talk too much though. People don't hear enough from. I don't think people hear enough from you on this channel. I gotta be better of not launching into some shit and giving you an opportunity to.
Plus, I feel like I cut you off at times quite a lot, so I'm trying to work on that as well. But I've still done it today, but I'm still trying to lay back on it a bit and not butt in as much. So that
we're trying to balance it. We're trying to balance it. It's not easy. But do we have a topic for next week?
I hadn't, no, but I don't know if you have, or I haven't got anything planned. So
I had a bunch of shit, and there was something I meant to ask you if you watched 100 times, and I keep forgetting what the hell it was.
Is it not the Tom McDonald thing, was it?
No.
I don't know whether to do that or not. There's so much of his stuff I haven't reacted to, so I probably could do it. I just haven't felt like an urge to do that yet.
Yeah, no, it was a movie or a show. I think it was. I was curious if you had seen or not, because I think it might have been English. I'm not sure. I have to find out. And then there's we'll come up. I'm sure we'll have no problem come up with a topic for next week. Should be simple enough to do. But so I guess look, this one went way over. It's been a hot mess. I'm gonna next week. I'm giving BCHQ the floor more than me because I'm always.
I probably haven't got as many life stories as you. If I start going into my stuff, it's like just compared to yours, it's a bit like vanilla.
Yeah, like this dude's all fucked up, dude. Let him talk, please. I can't take this. I'm learning all types of shit.
No, it's no joke. Like literally, some of the stuff you was saying today, it's like I said earlier on. It's like something out of a Netflix like series and stuff. Like some of the stuff, it's literally like they could make a film. So,
I mean, they really, dude. Man, it's crazy. I can't believe when I tell some of these stories. When I think back of almost doing 8 years in prison, I can't believe that was me. I feel like I'm talking about somebody else, all because one cop stood up in the courtroom and said, I handed her the paperwork to be here personally. And she didn't. Before he did it, if you can imagine, dude, as he gets up, I'm thinking he goes to walk out of the courtroom, comes up behind me and whispers in my ear, if you make me regret this, I swear to God. And then goes up and says, excuse me, Your Honor. Like, dude, what the fuck? One person standing up knowing that what was going on wasn't right. He didn't have to do that, but it's still the point. That guy gave, and of course, 2 weeks later, I would get arrested for weed, but it doesn't count because I wasn't, breaking the law for weed doesn't count, dude. I mean, that's different if I was out terrorizing people and I was trying to live a better life. I was trying to improve my quality of life. It's not like I wasn't trying to be a criminal, right? Like now, obviously we know medical marijuana exists and all that shit, but I'm going to shut the fuck up or we'll be here for another 3 hours. But yeah, so next week, BCHQ, we're going to hear some vanilla stories from BCHQ next week because I talk too damn much. Oh my God. People are like, bro, you already have a podcast. You do like 8 things a day on your YouTube channel. How much is enough? How much is enough, you greedy motherfucker? All right, so next week, I don't know what topic of discussion is going to be, but we're going to hear more from BCHQ. Man. That's what we're going to do. I mean, since that Laughing at Birds every Saturday, BCHQ's got some technical issues, but what can the people...
I'm still doing videos on my channel, so that'll still be going ahead. It's just, like we said at the beginning of the show, it's kind of changed the films and the movie side of it for a bit, but there'll still be videos and out on my YouTube. Yeah, that's it really.
Okay, if you want me to, we'll talk about this off air, obviously, but whatever you want me to upload, wherever you want, if you want, even if you need me to do like uploads on your regular channel, whatever, if I can help, I'm willing to do it, dude. You know, it's only time anyway, nothing else going on. So, you know, look, we'll be back next week. UKNJ Project, Laughing at Birds, BCHQ. And I mean, that's it, man. Live your life. Get yourself out of that fucking hole. If you need motivation, go find that channel. What you said last time, man. Go find that. Find your spade. Where is it? Why are you not digging yourself out of this shit, man? Get the fuck out of here. That's how you do it.
Most households have a shovel or a spade, wherever you are in whatever country. So you just got to go find it.
That's right. Go find that. What are you doing? Get your life together. We will see you next week. Always fun, dude.
See you later, man.